what you contemplate. Are we? Am I?
Let's go, baby. We got a 1-1 series. It's Vancouver, it's Edmonton, and we are in Edmonton. We're in the oil den. We're in the oil pump. We're in the oil patch? We're in the patch. We're in the patch. I don't know. It's oil's not that scary unless you set it on fire or it has Connor McDavid in uniform. Hi, everybody. It's Adam Wylde hanging out. What's going on? I'm looking at the chat. It was already firing up. Already 320 people here. Damn. Now we're gonna have a good time. A lot of people Friday night stuck it out to overtime with me, which I really, really appreciated. I'm not gonna lie. And a lot of you didn't. A lot of you were like, nah, I don't need to do that. How about I just go to bed? And I just want you to know that I haven't forgotten and I'm bitter about it. And so there's going to have to be some penance tonight, okay? I'm just throwing that out there that you guys need to understand that, like, you can't just betray me like that. If we're going OT in game 3 and you leave me again, might have to show up at your house. Don't put it past me. Might have to dox you. I'm kidding. I would never do that. I don't even know how to dox somebody. Honestly, I barely even know how to run this stream. If it wasn't for Jesse actually sitting me down and going, okay, turn on this camera, turn on those lights, turn on that computer, and here's the password, I wouldn't know how to do what I'm doing. It's not my strength. Anyway, hi. How's everybody today? Can we get some score predictions today? Who is going to win game 3, and what is it going to be by? And are we getting overtime? I have to be honest, I'm far more prepared for overtime tonight than I was on Friday. Friday, I was feeling it. I was dogging it. I was a little tired, a little like swollen under the eyes, just pooped. And you guys definitely laughed at me for it. Which, listen, again, I'm not gonna forget it. And I'm feeling like I'm a little more awake tonight. We got producer Hayden on the stream, and I believe Justin Fisher is doing the SDPN chat tonight. So I want you to say hi to them too. We got 5-2 Oilers, 4-1 Nucks. Did they change the refs? That last game was atrocious. Yeah, Kelly Sutherland had a rough game. That third period second period with the high stick that he missed with Quinn Hughes bleeding, that changes the entire game now. Now that the Oilers won, it's a game changer. 5-4 Canucks with 15 OTs. Meme Express, I don't appreciate it. Okay? Drink some pickled egg juice. Is there a reason that I'm drinking pickled egg juice, or is it just because so Justin Fisher is running the chat tonight. What's up, Justin? What's up, producer Hayden? What are some other scores? We got a lot of Vancouver 6, Edmonton 4, 6-4 Oilers. And how are you? Did you guys have a good weekend? Adam, why are you biased for the Canucks? Well, I watched them in round 1. Not hard to get behind the team. They also made it through the most boring hockey I've ever seen. But I don't want to say I'm slanted here, because let's be honest, Kelly Sutherland did have a bad game, and Oilers fans, you would agree with me. You're smart enough to know. And sometimes, listen, when occasionally you get away with bad refereeing going your way. I think the Oilers got that. They deserved the win. But, let's be straight. It's kind of like what happened with Bennett and Marchand. Ref missed it. Marchand's now out for the series. Somehow Department of Player Safety missed it too. Suspicious. Anyway, it is what it is. The unbelievable comeback by the Florida Panthers tonight. Boston really looked like they were ahead. We're really going to control this game, and nope. I can't believe it, but Florida is up 3-1. Matthew Williamson, say something nice about yourself, Steve and Jesse. Okay, well, first off, Steve's got a good little playoff beard going. I know he shaved it, but he had a good little playoff beard going. And he's got the gray in his whiskers too. Kind of makes it feel like, that's manly, right? It's dad. Jesse, I mean, can you talk about Jesse without complimenting the man? Smart, tall, athletic, really good guy. Very smart. I don't know. Well, I think the shorter list would be find something bad about Jesse. And you can't. It's difficult. Brad Karma Marchand. Listen. Brad Marchand has done his sneaky crap before, and he's gotten away with a lot of stuff. So it's difficult to feel bad for him. It is. You're right. The way Florida is going, the Leafs would have gotten smoked, I think, from Mike Fish. Oh, no question. The Leafs would have been rinsed. If they won a game in that series, playing the way they were playing, they'd have been lucky. I don't think the Leafs would have had a chance. Quit whining about the effing refs. You got the third period goal with 6 men on the ice, and Hyman got mugged. All right, Midnight Rambler. By the way, that's one of the best Rolling Stones songs, Midnight Rambler. The live version from Get Your Yayas Out. I think it's 1971, 1972. One of the best live albums of all time. I love Midnight Rambler. It's a great song. You guys should all check it out. Yes, the reffing is equal when wow, I love that Canucks and Oilers fans are already at it in the chat with each other. I love that. All those hardworking construction workers. What's the loudest fart you ever farted? What is the loudest fart I've ever farted? I'm glad you hit me with the hard questions tonight. These are the ones that you want when you're kicking off a stream. Loudest fart. I don't even remember, to be honest. It's probably in class, probably in high school. Oh, I remember. Actually, I got a good one for you. So when I was in grade 3, I sat beside this girl named Jenny, and Jenny was a very nice person. And in the middle of like a math quiz, everybody's quiet and they're doing 6 + 3 = 9, that whatever. And I let one rip, just full blown tanker truck, and it was like, but it was loud. And everybody looked at me, and then I had quick thinking, so I went, Jenny, and I looked at her like she did it, and everybody started laughing at her because girls weren't supposed to fart. Anyway, I thought it was hilarious. and she was not happy with me. I don't think she ever forgave me. Yeah, I deserve the hate. Anyway, that'd be my best fart story. I don't know if it's the loudest I've ever farted, but I feel bad for Jenny. Did you ever hear Jenny fart? No, I did not. I've never had an empty gymnasium fart. You said, Steve, how's everyone the last few days? Good and normal. Mine has been good and normal. Oh, is that is that Steve paid for by the Saudi government? That's crazy. Hi, Steve. I can't wait to talk about that on the show tomorrow. No, Steve's not paid by the Saudis. You crazy people. That's a top 10 fart story of all time. Well, thank you, Marco Goat. I appreciate that. You have to specify if you're referring to the decibel level of the fart or the reaction of the people around. So Poker Walrus, I think that was the reaction of the people around. That was the loudest one. Hashtag justice for Jenny. Man, she deserves it. She deserves it. I feel bad. Sorry, Jenny. She was a really good person too. Like a good friend. Terrible guy. I'm a terrible guy. Here we go. And we're off. Now I'm watching on the Sportsnet app. So if you are watching with me, you're probably watching a little bit delayed because for whatever reason, when you watch on Sportsnet, big hit. Big hit by Miller. Oh, nice little drive to the net. As a Leaf fan, I don't know what that looks like. Oh, was that Joshua that drove? Anyway. If he wasn't paid by the Saudis, how could he afford a super chat? You know what? Good question. Maybe there's something that Steve isn't telling me. What aren't you telling me, Steve? I see that everybody's on their best on Sunday. I feel very rested. Like the Friday night streams are fun, but by Sunday you start to kind of feel like a human being again after a long work week, right? So I'm feeling much, much better. All right, we got a face-off. I'm going to do a clap. 1941 on the clock. If you want to align streams, if Sportsnet decides to actually show the face-off this time, they never get. Here we go. Face-off's done. They never show face-off at center ice. They're always late to it. I don't know why. Have you guys noticed that, or is that just me? And I know I get anal about a couple of different things, like the refs dropping the pucks and that sort of thing. But it drives me nuts. Like, get the camera set up. Make sure that you see center ice for the first face-off, which we barely saw this time. It was cut off. Otherwise, they do a good job. Oh, that's great. Icing call. What do we got here? Loudest fart ever was 194 decibels, equivalent to a rocket liftoff. What does that do to your butt? That can't be. Like that. And somebody farts that loud. They're trying to, right? That's like a fart attempt. Like no one farts that loud because they're like, yes, it just happened. And then we happen to measure it. Okay, ready? Another face-off. 1912 left. Vancouver wins. Hronek from the shot for the point. Ooh. A little bit wide. Pettersson on the line or on the ice. Oh, McDavid with a big hit. Here we go. Now we got some lineup changes today for the Vancouver Canucks specifically. Linus Karlsson is in, and interestingly enough, I was expecting to see a Noel Juleson, but we did not see him, or we do not see him, and Nils Aman. I'm not going to lie to you. Probably a creative player, but that's okay. Every team's got creative players. Who's your favorite team's creative player? Leave it in the chat. You come for the history lessons and you stay for the fart facts. No, you come for the game. Don't you come for the game? All right. Teddy Bluger, Cody Ceci pinching deep. You know that if you're a Leaf fan, you know that it can only lead to good things. You love Ceci down deep. You love him down low. Jacqueline K, I just joined and you guys were talking about farts. Somebody asked me on the super chat, Jacqueline, about my farts. About my loudest one. By the way, that story I told you, that was I'm pretty sure, unless I mentioned it, is grade 3. You have to admire the guile that I had to be like, Jenny, and give the face. You know the face that kids give? Yeah. I come here for Adam and stay for the game. Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you. It's Nils Oman, Taylor Joyner. What do we need to know about Nils Oman anyway? Nils Oman. What do we got? What do we got? We got a 6th round guy playing playoff games. Straight up, that's a great story right there. And he was a Colorado Avalanche pick, 6th round, 167th overall in the 2020 draft, which was a weird draft. But what was weirder was 2021. That is going to be a weird one as history plays out, because you're going to get some weird late round picks that were ignored because of COVID season. 2020 draft, though, not straight up weird, you know. Abbotsford this year, he's a center. He shoots left. 15 points in 15 games, not bad for the AHL. He had 7 points in 43 with the Canucks over the course of the regular season. Had 16 points in 68 last year with the Canucks. So he looks like he could just be a guy. Sometimes you're a guy and you get into the playoffs and you're collecting a playoff check, which means that if you get playoff bonuses. You actually don't get paid to play in the playoffs by your team. You get paid by the NHL. How about that? Did you know that? There are bonuses for every round. Yo, I set up my screen with a free feed and your mug and chat. Not bad, eh? Not bad. D.O. Sounds good. Doug and Sharon Krenz. Hi, I thought the game was on here. No, guys, we can't carry the game. And the reason is we don't have $5.2 billion like Rogers does. So you have to watch the game however you watch the game, and then you sidecast with me. We are not a rights holder, so therefore we cannot show you the game. We have the technology to show you the game. I could easily put it up, but then I would be sued, and I don't want to do that. I'd have to blame it all on producer Hayden. I'd have to go before a judge and go, sorry, judge, I didn't even know I was streaming. It's Hayden's fault. Is that fair to do to Hayden? No, I don't think that's fair. By the way, producer Hayden pulled together a bunch of stats for me. And I don't know if you realize this, but the Canucks have played the Oilers 2 previous times, 1992 and 1986. They have lost both series. So if the Vancouver Canucks defeat the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs this year, it will be the very first time they have done it. And interestingly, 1986, they probably didn't stand a chance. Oh, that's a trip, Brock Besser. That's a trip. You're going to the box for that. And whoa, Svilov with a save. Ooh. Goalie bailed out Besser there. Ooh. We got a power play. We got a good time. Man. I don't even think Besser was going for the trip there. I think he just missed the puck, and then Draisaitl's like, here are my skates. It worked. Good save on Bouchard by Svilov there. Whoa. Damn. That's a great save. Drone Terrio. That's why hockey is dying in Canada. What is why? Adam is a billionaire, not 5.2 billion. You know, Colin, I wouldn't spend my billions on NHL rights. I'd spend it on yachts, just a fleet of them. Just show up at harbors and be like, I'm taking over. I'm so rich, I'm just blowing money. Losing PDG and Hoglander in this game means we're missing some quality Adam name pronunciations. Yeah, now I just do it for fun. I know it's Hoglander. It's more fun to say Hog, though, isn't it? Oilers power play not really doing much, but looking dangerous. Zach Hyman is standing exactly where he needs to. You know what's interesting? Oh, they always go for that cross-ice path. So Nuge moving in. I love the way the Oilers do this. You got McDavid up on the half wall. You got Draisaitl down deep. You got Zach Hyman in front of the net. As soon as the puck goes to Draisaitl deep, Nuge is in, and that way either Hyman gets it or Nuge gets it. Oh, Draisaitl! I just fell. Nuge gets it or Hyman gets it. It's beautiful. Draisaitl. Whoop. Dry is still definitely hurt. He is not taking any draws. Not good for the Oilers. No, it sucks. And, I wonder, he's got bad luck around the playoffs with injuries. He's always hurt. And he's always great anyway. Adam's pronunciation of Rick Bowness is pretty classic. Yeah, you bet. It's too bad I won't get to do that next year. Rick has retired. Oh, Vandergate scores. Wow. Or was that Ekholm? Doesn't matter. Edmonton scores. Besser hates it, and he should. That was a bad penalty. He shouldn't have taken it. It was a great call by the ref. Let's give the refs props. 1-0 refs. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. So is that So here we go. We got Perry in front of the net. Oh, and it goes off Myers. Oh, that sucks. That's the right thing. What Tyler Myers does there is the right thing, and that's just a weird squeak. Boom, in goes Ekholm with the goal. See, I don't know why I thought it was Kane. I think he was the pass. Anyway, damn. Good for the Oilers. Second power play unit after the first power play unit doesn't get much done. Really, really solid. And honestly, a bad bounce off Tyler Myers. But that's what happens when you take stupid penalties. You play stupid games. And what do you win? Stupid prizes. Man, Leaf fans in the chat being like, "Yo, can we please get a power play like that?" The answer is no. No, you know why? Because you're Leaf fans and you did something wrong in a past life, and now we're all paying for it collectively together. Yo, Adam, what level of hockey did you play as a kid? Highest level I got was single A, man. I wasn't great. I loved it. My favorite part of the week was going to hockey practice and hockey games, but yeah. Small disagreement on Friday's pod. Keith Pelly was actually disastrous on the European tour. I'm a huge golf fan, and everyone was glad he resigned. Why was he disastrous, Thomas? Tell me why. I would love to know more. I'll do a little research. I'd only ever heard good reports over here in North America. We don't hear a lot about the European golf tour over here unless you're a fanatic. Adam, who's your cup final? Oilers and who? I never bet against the Leafs, so my bracket every year includes the Leafs in the final, so my bracket's always bad. But, it's looking like the New York Rangers are pretty strong. To make Carolina look like that, you have to remember Carolina is a really, really good team. Except for when they get to the second round. They're kind of Leafs are first round and out team. Carolina seems to be mostly, except for last year, a second round and out team. And honestly, to support my view on this, Carolina's last win in last year's playoffs was in the second round. Because remember, they got swept by the Panthers. From Matherman. Adam, you ever fucked around and found out? If so, what did you find out? Man, so many things. My whole life is effing around and finding out. Damn, it's a good question. A specific F around and find out story? Oh, I'll tell you a hockey one. Oh, wrecked my microphone for a second. I'll tell you a hockey one. While nothing's going on in this game. When you hit puberty and there are kids that grow up and they are... I'm going to switch this up. Can you hear me now? Interference call. Draisaitl. He can't even believe it. Ooh, what happened here? I'll get back to the F around and found out story. What happened? Oh, yes, this is definitely interference. It's weak. It's a weak call. But they were definitely they were definitely doing an even up call there, but it's still interference. That's regular season interference. It is. It's regular season interference. Should it be called in the playoffs? Absolutely not. Were they looking for an even up? Absolutely. Can we just call it that? Can we just be open about that? This is how the refs work in the playoffs. We can complain about it. like we Leaf fans have for the last decade, or you can accept it and learn to play the game like the Bruins and the Panthers do. Anyway, I was talking about the Rangers. Rangers, I think Rangers have a really good shot at beating Florida, if anybody does. And I think based on what I'm seeing, this Edmonton Vancouver series is going to be closer than people give it credit for. I think whoever wins this series is going head to head with Dallas. And I'm having a hard time figuring out who beats Dallas, but I'm also like, and it's not because I don't like the Avalanche, it's just because I think the Stars this year are just a little bit better. I'll give it to the Stars over the Oilers, but I oddly think that the Canucks match up well against the Stars. Is that weak? Is that a weak argument? Probably. Just because of I think Dallas could take advantage of Edmonton's defensive mishaps because they're prone to them. Whereas I think Vancouver's a little bit more balanced, and Dallas is a high-flying team, and Vancouver does do a good job of neutralizing high-scoring players, especially in the playoffs. Myers and Zadorov being out there, and Hughes and Roenick. I know Roenick's got like 3 assists in his last 20 games. Doesn't mean he's not useful. So anyway. Did I ever F around and find out? By the way, I got to answer that question because it was a beautiful super chat question. So you hit puberty, you're in competitive hockey, which I was, or the lowest level of competitive hockey, and some kids grow and some kids do not, and you grow eventually, but maybe you haven't got there yet. So I was still at the haven't got there yet stage, and there was a defenseman on a really bad team we were playing against. They played on a team called the Scarborough Young Leafs, and we were playing the Oh, here we go. We got a power play. Hang on. I'm going to tell you. Besser, Quinn Hughes, back up to the point to Besser. Goal! What a shot. Was that tipped? I think Lindholm tipped that. What a goal. Besser, baby. I think he feels good about that. That brings the tripping call down in terms of the importance level. That's beautiful. I can't speak properly, but what I'm saying is he got it back. Okay, who did he tip this? Did 23 tip this? I think Lindholm got it, but it's too fast to tell. Hang on. Yep, that's a tip from Lindholm. Yep. Wow. Damn. Good start. We got two goals in the first 10 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. Man, Nashville will be lucky. That Nashville series, we'd be lucky if we get 2 goals in the entire game. Anyway, yeah. So talking about hockey, I was a kid that didn't grow. There was a kid on a bad team that did, and I got cocky. And he was full speed around. He was a defenseman, full speed around his own goalie, like behind the net and coming out for a breakout. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? And this guy's got to be 6'4", 200 pounds. I'm probably 5'4", 110. And I'm like, I'm going to hip check this guy. So I get in front of him, and he's not a good shifty guy. So once I get in front of him, I know he's going to run me over. But I was like, oh, no, I'm strong. I'll get. And he blew me up in a way that I have never forgotten. It was one of those where, when you get the wind knocked out of you and you're like, I was on. He just skated through me, and I was just a dust cloud of helmet and sticks and gloves. And I was face down on the ice, and they actually had to blow the play dead because I was dead. And I could. Anyway, I effed around and found out. With guys like that, go for the poke check. Go for the poke check. You're 12 years old. Go for the poke check. I'm blind. I'm deaf. I want to be a ref. David Pasternak has joined the chat. That ticky-tacky call better be the standard. Give me 6 power plays when the Oilers are at 50%. Yo, amen to that. I don't think so. I don't think that's how it's going to be. I think that the first call on Besser they had to make, I think that it was a weaker call on Draisaitl. I'm not going to lie. That's not how they should be calling games this late in the playoffs. We're well past this. These are not children anymore. These are grown men in the second round of the playoffs. What does Zadorov's next contract look like from Nathan? Nathan, if I'm guessing, I'm thinking it's probably close to double what he's making now. So maybe 7 to 7.5. And he definitely wants 8 years. So if the Canucks can do that, which I think they can with Tyler Myers coming off the books, you essentially, in only Tyler Myers is off the books, $6 million. Zadorov what does he make? 3.75. So you put half of Myers' old contract towards Zadorov, and you basically have a deal. That's what I would say. That's what I think. Does the NHL have an equivalent of Angel Hernandez? No, you can't insult NHL refs like that. Listen, they have their bad games, and I have my issues with NHL refs just generally the way they ref games, but nobody's Angel Hernandez. I actually legitimately think that Angel Hernandez cannot see. And I think because he's part of that refs or that umps union, they're never going to tell him that he can't. But if I were the commissioner of the MLB, I'd be like, you need to send him for an eye exam and potentially get him LASIK because he actually clearly can't see. Oh, more time updates. Sorry, guys. 9:43 left. Yeah, Angel is generationally bad. Yeah, he's the McDavid of bad umps. He's he's not even the McDavid. He's the Gretzky of bad umps. He's terrible. Here comes Tyler Myers coming in. I'm also going to do a clap at the next face-off, guys. I'm going to get better about that. I just get so into chatting with you guys, and then I just, you know what I mean? 9:17, 9:16, 9:15, 9:14. If you're trying to align streams with me. Liam Shore. Worst part is Angel isn't the worst ump. Jesse Atkinson, Wes McCauley is Angel Hernandez. See, Wes has good games. If you're a Leaf fan, Wes has only terrible games. But if you are like a normal team, Wes does have really good games. I don't generally have a problem with Wes McCauley. I have an issue with Wes McCauley reffing the Leafs in the playoffs because just like Kelly Sutherland with the Canucks, and I know that dates all the way back to 2011 and the Sedins and the final and everything. The Canucks have never won a game while Kelly Sutherland has been reffing. The Leafs, I don't believe, have ever won a playoff game with Wes McCauley reffing. And the NHL should look at that and they should say, okay, perhaps there's some bias there. What's weird is Kelly Sutherland is from Richmond. Not that should bias him, but maybe it's like he wants to prove that he's unbiased so hard that he's almost biased the other way. Does that make sense? People do that. The ref talk is loser mentality. That's right, Travis. That's right. You gotta do the Mike Babcock. You gotta leave no doubt, brother. Leave no doubt. Hi, it's Yanni Havisto. I really like Bordertown. That's great. Canucks always win when Brock scores, so this is in the bag. We're in the commercial break right now, so I'm gonna do a little clap for the next face-off. I am surprised, by the way, that that goal was allowed, that cross-check goal with Swayman. I really am. I don't know, and I don't know anybody that could, you know what they should do? Because they bring in the refs to like a camp every year, and they go, this is what cross-checking looks like. There's a difference. Like in the NHL, you're allowed to push off with your stick, but you can't cross-check, right? If the person is next to you, you can push off with your stick. If the person is a foot away from you and you do this, well, then you can't do that, right? That's cross-checking. So they bring them in and they're like, this is what goaltender interference looks like, and this is what it doesn't look like. Here's where a player interfered. Here's where a player didn't. And they show countless examples of it. And you know what's crazy is they never show the media and they never show the public. So we are sat there guessing. And I think part of the reason is that they don't want to be held accountable on it. And that sucks. Because we spend forget the money we spend. Think about the hours that you spend dedicated to this sport, right? And this happens in every sport. It happens in football. It happens in the NBA a lot. It's frustrating. And you were like, and at least with the NBA, the refs do have to answer some questions. So, I almost I don't even put that on the refs. I put it on head office and go like, please make this clear to us. Oh, here's Connor Garland being sneaky. Man, I love that player. I could tell. Apparently, Dubas really tried to get him once for Toronto. And I think, and I've said this before, he is the Dubas archetype player. If Vancouver, for whatever reason, needs to shed salary, I bet he's a Pittsburgh Penguin. I put money on it. And you know what? I really like him. Leafs could use a guy like him, actually. Great puck handler, speedy, shifty. The Leafs have some big guys. Connor Garland is a small guy that you want. That's a really useful, quick guy that actually forechecks too, which is cool. Carlson into his first game here in the series. I think his first game of the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. As I have seen every Vancouver Canucks game this playoffs. Garland has a good relationship with Tocchet, though. Yeah, it's true. Oh, shoot. I forgot to sync it up. Okay, my bad. 7:09 left. Shoot. Okay. I will get good at this by the end of the playoffs, I promise. I think, by the way, I'm going to start doing this throughout the regular season, too, if you guys would join me. I would love that. I think I'm going to pick a night and do that same night every week. It won't be the weekend. It'll be a weeknight. But I think we got to do that. I think we're going to hang. Oh, it's a goal. Brock Besser with another goal after the penalty leads to a goal against that Brock Besser took earlier. He gets an assist on the Lindholm goal, on Lindholm's tip, and then he scores this one. And this is a good little turnover in the offensive zone. Damn. And by the way, Brock Besser's in the chat too. How does he do it? How does he do it both? It's amazing. Myers, Miller, Besser, back of the net. What a snipe. That's just a good, clean hockey goal right there. That's beautiful. And you know what? I'll give Evan Bouchard credit. He boxes out Pius Suter. That's completely Stuart Skinner that's got to have that. It was man on man, and Besser beat him straight up. That was great. Nice goal. Damn, I forgot to sync this up. But by the way, they didn't show the face-off properly on my feed, okay? Okay. High stick, stops play. Here's the time signature. Hang on. They're just bringing the score bug up. 6:25, guys. 6:25 on the time. Adam needs to grow a beard. Oh, my God. My beard sucks. It's so bad. It's patchy and terrible. I can't believe I'm 36 years old. I can't grow a beard yet. I was expecting by in my early 20s, I'd try to grow one a little bit. And it became sort of cool to grow one. And it would just get patchy here and here. And then I was like, okay, well, by the time I'm like 29, 30, I should be able to do it. I'm 36, still can't do it. .620 in the first. Why do you only sound excited when the Canucks scored, but not the Oilers? I was excited when the Oilers scored. I was. Was I not? I felt excited. See, this is fun because for me, I get to be neutral guy who enjoys hockey. It's the best. It's the absolute bomb. But I love that you Oilers fans want me on side. I feel honored. It's a door off behind the net. Will he go end to end and do it again? He will not. Oman's in. This is basically one of the first shifts we've seen with him because there's been 2 power plays. Haven't seen that Bluger line very much. Oh! Cody Ceci. Hit by Sam Lafferty, both former Leafs. Roenick with the pass. Adam, neutral guy, Wylde. That's me. Maxime Bergeron. Don't worry, Adam. You'll be able to grow a beard when you grow up. Then I will never be able to grow a beard. Okay, here we go. Mikheyev. Thought that could have been a penalty there. Oh, Carlson almost put one in. That's his 4th shift of the game. Can you imagine? I think Linus Carlson, he definitely is going to want that. I'm also a neutral Habs fan. Go Canucks, go Oilers. Haha, you're attracting a lot of Bruins players in here. Are they more annoying than fans or less? I'm not sure who you're talking about in terms of like who they'd be more annoying than. Bruins fans are good chirpers and they're confident because they know they got a pretty good shot at it every year. They never get it done. I mean, they got it done once in 2011. They never finished the job. Tuukka Rask won his entire career, didn't win a cup in net. He won as the backup. It's different. Tim Thomas won that cup. Vancouver Canucks fans, you know. But I'll tell you, Boston fans are a very confident bunch, and they should be. Every one of their teams has won the championship in the last decade. It's ridiculous. Weirdly, the Red Sox are just garbage and not spending money. I don't understand why. 3:40 left in the first. We're going to have a face-off here in the offensive zone after that icing. Bruins can't win a game, so Hank Barber, a gray hockey fan, not a Jedi or a Sith. Can a gray Jedi enjoy both sides of the Force? And by the way, who's the light side of the Force and who's the dark side of the Force in this game? That's face off. There we go. 3:38 left in the first. Apparently, there's some guy with 3 accounts, so we're going to move 2 of them. All right, man, that's dedication. Three? Tim Roby Show. What do you think is more important for the Leafs this offseason, defense or goaltending? Let's get wild next season. Goaltending is more important. Goaltending is always more important. You're going to see a completely revamped defense core, though. Don't be surprised, guys, if Morgan Riley gets moved. I mean, I know you will be surprised. I will too. But just putting that on your radar. It's a possibility. They are throwing it around internally. And doesn't mean that they're not going to have puck-moving defensemen in his place. It just means they might need a change. 3-on-1 Oilers. That's dangerous. Oh, it's off the post. Oh, Kane did the right thing and didn't pass to Ceci. Because you know how that would have been gone. Oh, baby. And he just put it off the post. Man, that's a couple of shots where the Oilers, for sure, the Oilers could be up 3-2 in this game easy right now. Earlier, one of the players for the Oilers put his hands up. Oh, man. And it's just wide. Great shot on the off angle, too. Drew Magus, is Wylde the man in Toronto? Yes. But Brad made a really good point in the press conference, and he said, we can't keep him healthy. So we're going to have to examine why that is. Is it off-season training? Is it game day prep? Or what is it? And yeah, listen, if the guy can't stay healthy, he can't be your goaltender long-term. So, and that sounds unfair, but it's pro sports. Everything's unfair. So I have thought that Joseph Woll is the real deal since the Panthers series. And I thought this season he was amazing. And I thought the way that the team played in front of him this season before he got hurt was amazing. That was when they were really at their best. And then Sammy came back and they continued that. But if you watch the way they played against Boston with Sammy in net, who was all over the place, and Woll in net, who was not, they played 5 and 6 with Woll in net, and he was spectacular. And I think that's what you have to look at is the team is more confident with that goalie in the lineup. And Oilers fans know what I'm talking about here, especially Oilers fans. When Jack Campbell was in net, the Oilers were a different team than when Stuart Skinner was in the net. And by the way, they were both terrible to start the year. But when Stuart Skinner regained his confidence, you know, you could see the Oilers being like, okay, goalie's good. We're going to play our game. Leafs straight up couldn't do that with Sammy in the playoffs, and they couldn't do it for most of the regular season too. So yeah, I do think Woll is the guy, but they need somebody else who's like a vet presence, and it would be ideal if they could have somebody who comes in and is already very, very good, and Woll and this guy can push each other. Like the way Ullmark and Swayman do. It's friendly, but it's a competition, and that's what brings out the best in people. Give Besser credit. He's had a very good first period. 2:22 left in the first period for everybody aligning. What would the Leafs trade for Seeloffs? Well, here's the thing. Who was the guy that won with New Jersey last year? New Jersey goalies. What was his name? Who was the goalie? Roster, New Jersey Devils. It wasn't Kakinen. It was, what's that guy? You guys know who I'm talking about, right? Who's the guy that won about all that stuff in the playoffs? Here we go. Besser, Miller, Suter, cross the blue line. Here's Hughes. Oh, close. 1:30 to go. Oh, turnover. Suter. Besser scores again. What? Wow. What a period he's having. That's a brutal turnover. Brock Besser, baby. Is that a hat trick? Did they wow. I thought Lindholm tipped that goal, but whatever. Besser with a hat trick. Besser with a hat trick in the first, baby. Wow. Errant pass from Foegele, it looks like. Brutal. Damn. So it was Foegele that turned it over. Besser all alone because Nurse was not back. Neither was Ceci. Ooh, can I just say something, Oilers fans? Who was Foegele passing to there? Where's it supposed to go? He gets above his own right center line, and then passes it to who? He puts it to the center of the ice in the defense zone. Just chip it out, man. Are you kidding me? You're Warren Foegele. Dude. Wow. Love the fan throwing the hat. Yeah, no kidding. That's a big, man. Brock Besser, who struggled with injuries for years, is just looking like the guy that everybody thought he was going to be 3-4 years ago. So happy for him. 8th goal of the playoffs. Are you freaking kidding me? I don't even know if Nylander, Tavares, Matthews, and Marner combined for 8 goals total. Like, that's just awesome. Yeah. Hey, if you're a Vancouver Canucks fan, and if you're an Oilers fan, just know that the most amount of goals the Leafs scored in these playoffs in a single game was 2. So every time you get more than that, you can dunk on us Leafs fans. Willie the Kid Delaney. I'm very happy, but I'm still concerned about an Oilers comeback. Oh, guys. Oh, the Oilers not only can, they probably will. Now, it's a question of, can Vancouver keep scoring? It's not a question of, will the Oilers score? They will score. They will. They're the Oilers. Expect it. So what are you going to do about it? That means you got to score more. Oh, almost a little tip in by Miller there. 1:03 left in the first. Quinn Hughes is having a really good game too. Nice. They're going for the tip on Skinner. A lot of floaters in. In fact, Besser, again, I thought Besser's first goal was Lindholm's goal, but, you know. Odessa, I don't like 3-1 leads. Man, I don't like 4-1 leads. I'm a Leaf fan. Tim Roby Show, what are you most excited for this offseason? In my personal life or in hockey? Because free agency is always the bomb. I love our SDPN free agency day. It's my favorite. Trade deadline and free agency are my favorite days of the year because we sit back, wait for them to happen, and then we do little breakdowns. And, you know, one of these days, I don't know if I told you guys this. I broke a signing last year. So, got my first. Nobody knew. Oh! What a save! How did Seeloff save that? See what I mean? Oilers are going to threaten to score here. How the hell did this happen? Damn, I need to see a replay. What happened? 37.2 seconds left in the first, by the way. There's a button mash going on there. Oh, how did Derek Ryan not score? That looked like a football play right at the line of scrimmage. Seeloff's got Derek Ryan's stick. Well, as long as the ref didn't see it. Oh. So Silovs has had this happen a couple times. Shilov, excuse me. He's had so Desharnais, the puck kind of gets through him. Wow. Are they going to call that a penalty? I don't think the ref saw that. Like, that is for sure a penalty. No question. And that's an obvious penalty. But they didn't see it. Damn. 3-1 took the wind right out of the sails. Edmonton opens the scoring on the power play, as they should, although it's the second power play unit that does it. And a post and a couple missed opportunities. And then Brock freaking Besser. Like Superman. Unbelievable. That's amazing. Whoa, off the post. Okay, so I'm looking up the playoff stats for, okay. So somebody asked earlier in the chat, could the Leafs, it's pronounced Goatlovs, Adam, come on, you're right. So somebody asked in the chat, like, hey, could the Leafs trade for Seelovs? And listen, maybe this guy turns out to be the next Shesterkin. I don't know. But do any of you remember the name Akira Schmid? Akira Schmid was incredible in the playoffs for New Jersey last year. Spent most of the year in the AHL for Jersey this year. Sometimes you get a goalie that has to step up because the other goalies faltered or got injured in the case of Vancouver. And Shilovs is doing that. Doesn't mean he's going to be great next year. Doesn't mean he's not going to be great next year. But I got to say, you got to enjoy it while it lasts. You got to enjoy it while it's happening. Akira Schmid was the king of New Jersey. He was the king. Not great since. It's funny. Enjoy the hot streak of players in the playoffs. Enjoy it. Don't always take it as it's for real and it's going to last. Skinner not looking great. How much do you put at Skinner's feet for that, guys? Oilers fans? I'm not going to ask Canucks fans because Canucks fans are like, everything. Haha, loser. How much do we really put at the feet of this goalie? Does Skinner start the second period? Good poll, Justin. Not the first time I've said that. Ayo. I think he does. Because if you look at the first goal was a redirect. The other two were man on man. But they're Brock Besser and he's got a wicked shot and they were wristers. And they kind of the second the second Brock Besser goal, I think Skinner should have had. It was man on man. You want Skinner to have that. The third Brock Besser goal, right towards the end of the period, Warren Fogle throws a freaking donut right up center ice for no reason. Just brain fartapalooza. And it's a turnover, and Suter gets it deep. I believe it was Suter. Gets it deep to Besser, who has already been left behind by one of the worst defense pairings I can imagine. Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci. What a nightmare. Yeah. Damn, Besser. Damn. I don't think it's Skinner's fault. I think you keep him going. And you know what? I don't think Edmonton played bad. That's the other thing. Like, you think Edmonton's been bad? They haven't been bad. This game should easily be tied. Or it could even at least be 3-2. Evander Kane missed by this much. I know hockey's a game of inches, but man, like it's not like they didn't get their opportunities. So if Vancouver comes out, takes a bad penalty, I don't want to play Connor McDavid's power play again. And I would also suggest to you that if if Stuart Skinner is out, Calvin Pickard is in. And I don't know if you want to go with Cal Pickard. I don't know. It's probably been a while since he saw the playoffs. Did he see them in Colorado in like 2016? He definitely didn't play playoff games for the Leafs, I don't think. Yeah. Anyway, throwing that to you. Oilers don't look energized. Well, man, Brock Besser just torched them for 3 goals. They'll turn around and second period they'll be shot out of a cannon for sure. for sure. It's not going to stay this way, guys. This is the Edmonton Oilers. This is not how they do let in a lot of goals. They let in a lot of goals, but they score a lot of goals. Let's throw a clip on. So for Canucks and Oilers fans, this is a little treat. I don't know if you know what it's like to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, but it's like that cough. It's just a little dry and painful at the moment. And Shanahan, Keith Pelley, new CEO, Brad Treliving, general manager, talked to the media. Shanahan will stay on, although I believe he is on shaky ground. Do you trust the Shanahan plan? If you were a Leaf fan, if you're not a Leaf fan and you're watching this, would you trust the Shanahan plan? We're going to play that clip. I'm going to blow my nose, get some water, and then I'm coming back. Let's get ready for period 2. Play the clip. So moving on to the press conference part of it, because obviously we've talked about Keith here. Brennan was asked by Luke Fox of Sportsnet, hey, and I got to give Luke Fox a lot of credit, and there's another person a few other reporters I got to give credit to because they asked very bold questions. The Toronto media did its job today, I feel. Luke Fox asking Mitch and John to waive their no-trade clauses, went right at him and said, are you going to ask them? Brendan Shanahan said this, and again, he repeats the answer, but it's important that you note it. Everything is on the table, but it doesn't serve the Leafs to discuss those things prematurely. The focus right now is to find a new head coach. I do believe there is time for preaching patience, but he did say he doesn't believe that time is now. He was preaching patience last spring. He was preaching patience the previous 6 years before last spring. And then here's the great follow-up. Steve Simmons, Toronto Sun. Steve says this, in 8 elimination games, your team has scored 11 goals. Why should we believe you when you say that you can change this and the time for change is now and you haven't been able to get it done before? And Brendan,
legit.
And I think that's a great question.
Legit.
And Brendan said that is the challenge. We wake up every day thinking about ways we can change the narrative and the results. And he said, you got to get into the dirty areas. Brendan, this is important. You got to get into the dirty areas. Aside from the Tampa series, and he referenced the power play, in all other series, we haven't gotten those results. And he's talking about playoff goals.
Which is something that Sheldon Keefe has emphasized with his team for at least 3 years.
Mm-hmm. So there's a clip that we can't play, which is funny because we had a deal with Amazon when this came out. Yeah. But there's a clip that we can't play because it's part of the Amazon doc where Keefe is meeting with Joe Thornton, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, and a few other the stars.
We probably could play it, but we're not going.
We're not going.
It's on our YouTube channel.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So we wouldn't flag ourselves.
I know.
So.
I don't know if the whitelisting lasts 3 years or not.
We could play it if you really wanted to, but let's not.
Let's not get demonetized.
Sorry, everyone.
Basically, it was making the rounds yesterday, and it's Keefe talking to the guys with masks on.
Yes.
About what it is to score a goal in the playoffs and how this is going to be different. Mm-hmm. And Joe Thornton notably in it, which kind of went passing at the time, but has really resonated in the 3 years since, says, give us a break, we're in first place. Or lay off, we're in first place, I believe is what he said. And Joe, and I liked him in Toronto. He wasn't great, but I liked him. He's a great personality.
He was pretty old.
He was brought in to be a mentor to the young guys. And that is not what anybody wants to see or hear from their favorite team going into the playoffs.
Part of the reason people are frothing at the mouth right now for Craig Berube is a clip that's been going around of Sheldon Keefe before Game 7 this year. And he goes, all right, guys, relax, have fun, all that. And then they show a clip of Craig Berube from before Game 7, 2019 Stanley Cup Final in Boston, by the way. And he's like, we're taking the fucking cup tonight. Like just hellfire and brimstone, fired up. Let's friggin' rah. And the Leafs just haven't had that.
Yeah.
They haven't had that.
Mark Masters, as you look back, why do you think, and I'm paraphrasing Mark's question here because it was hard to hear, why do you think they haven't got, why hasn't the core four got this group over the top? Brendan Shanahan. That's a difficult question. There is a time where the right answer is patience. New information has evolved, and you just have to adjust the way you're thinking. Chris Johnston.
What?
So what he's saying is he doesn't know why the core four theory didn't work.
I need you to read it again.
Okay, so Mark Masters, as you look back, why do you think they, as in the core four, haven't been able to get the group over the top?
Good question.
Shanahan, that is a difficult question. And again, I'm paraphrasing some of the things.
Okay.
There is a time where the right answer is patience. Sometimes new information, and he says evolved. New information has evolved, and you have to adjust the way of thinking. Or you have to adjust your way of thinking, which goes back to his initial statement.
Word salad.
No, I don't think it is.
Yummy, yummy.
I think I actually
Word
disagree with you
salad.
completely on
Yeah?
that. I think that is 100% saying we're changing directions now. Now,
Well,
and you would be right to say the time to change it was last spring, Shanny.
Yeah.
The time to change it was probably, when you look back, your cup window with Tavares was 19, 20, and 21. And I know there was a pandemic, but that was your cup window. The time to change things in retrospect, hindsight being 2020, was that. Okay, we didn't get it done against Montreal, but Tavares got injured, so let's do it against Tampa. Oh, we didn't get it done against Tampa. You know what I mean? Like,
There's so many times they could have pulled the shoot. Like, COVID genuinely boned this team. It boned this team more than any other.
but you know what they did about
in terms
it?
of strategy. What they did about it is nothing, right? So if it wasn't 2021, it was damn sure 2022, and they didn't do anything. And then they win in 2023, and you go, oh, hooray, and then they lose.
I think, well, I guess the organization as a whole, they're showing a pattern of doing everything about a year late. And I wonder with Shanahan and his job was this the year to move on from him? And are we going to sit here next year and be like, okay, now's the time to move on? And we're all like, it's a year late. You know, with the Sheldon Keefe stuff, with trading Marner, it was a year late. His no movement clause didn't kick in. With having the core established and saying, this is our time to go for it, it was 2 years ago.
Replacing the GM, if you were going to do it, you do it after you lose to Montreal and Tampa in success.
Yeah.
If you were going to do that, if you were going to make changes, that was the year to do it. It doesn't mean that Dubas should have been let go. It just means that if you were going to do it, that was the time.
Their mentality in all of these decision makings is we don't want to make a rash decision. We don't want to jump into something too soon. But that has led them over this length, is 10 years of Shanahan's run, to doing everything a step too late. And that's left them just trying to chase these things that they should have been doing a year or two earlier. And I feel like we're just on this constant loop of, okay, you made this decision, it's the right decision now, but it should have been made the season prior. And I feel like every single time we're in this instance, and Chris Johnston, I assume you're going to get to his question
He's
about
the next one.
about the contract. You can read it, because I think that's an important one there, where it's his contract's expiring.
Before I get to what CJ said, and I think it's important, I want to add to your point, Jesse. There's a theory in wargaming, bear with me, that you arrive at a battlefield, the other army arrives at a battlefield, and it's called seizing the initiative. And there are, hey, we can fight the battle in battle A, or we can fight the battle in battle B. And what the Leafs do is they go, I'll let the other team decide. It's called seizing the initiative. So what great generals do is they seize the initiative. They go, no, we're going to fight it this way because my team does this well on these, with these circumstances, and this gives us the best chance of winning. We're not going to let the other guys decide. We're going in this way, and this is how we're going to fight it.
We're not going to react.
We don't let it come to us, and that's what they're doing now. So
Never once during the Bell Rogers 10-year Shanahan run have I ever seen them be proactive in any of these decisions. It's always reactive.
all right, a little update on the score. It's 3-1 Oilers, and we all thought that Brock Besser may have got a hat trick, although I was like, nah, that was an assist. And I'm right. They have switched the goal from Brock Besser to Elias Lindholm. So Brock Besser only has 2 goals. So that person who threw their hat threw it prematurely. But you know what? Whatever. It's 3-1 Vancouver Canucks. And I got to think that Oilers fans, you're not thrilled about that so far. But I think the great thing about being an Oiler fan is knowing that you can always come back. How about those refs? Woo. Be funny if Adam just makes up history. If I just make it up, I don't know. I don't know if I'm creative enough for that. Just making it up, especially like in the middle of a stream, because you're just hanging out and you're chatting. It's hard to like think of something on your feet. You kind of have to know it, right? David Wilson, rest in peace, Ron Ellis. Yeah, let's talk about Ron Ellis a little bit. One of the best hockey players that ever played for the Toronto Maple Leafs. His entire career, okay, get this. He 10,034 games, played the entire time with the Toronto Maple Leafs right up until the early 80s. Helped them win their last few cups and was just known as a really good guy, gentleman. Played some really tough years with the Leafs through the 70s, although he did get to play with Sittler and McDonald, but also played with Sawchuk and Johnny Bauer and Frank Mahovlich. Ron Ellis, one of the best Leafs ever. And, it's interesting. The Leafs are, if you go back into Leafs history, I don't know if you were around, if you paid attention in 2017, the Leafs celebrated their 100 years. And there was such a disturbing lack of star power on the list. I don't know how many of those guys are Hall of Famers, but it wasn't a lot. And, until 1967, the Leafs were on par with the Canadiens. And I think at that point, the Leafs may have won even more cups than the Canadiens. But guys, after that, it got really bad. It got really thin. And it's nice at least in this era, that we have some star power. We haven't had a lot of playoff success, but boy, oh boy, guys like Ron Ellis, they disappeared for an entire decade. There's one or two really, really good players for the Leafs that came out of the 80s, and their names are Rick Vive and Wendell Clark, really notable, retire your number type players. Really thin, really thin. Adam, how does the Marchand injury feel? I'm a 55-year-old Leaf fan, and it's so lovely for me to see him on the other side of it. Yeah, listen, I don't root for people getting punched in the head and getting a concussion. But we can also say that Brad has done unto others as he had done unto him. And I would also say that, oh God, how would I even explain this? Sam Bennett, if the Panthers do win, I hope that Jake Trouba lines up Sam Bennett in a way that he remembers the rest of his life. Because one thing I'll say about Brad Marchand, as a Leaf fan, Bruins fans, you won't believe me here, is I have a lot of respect for what he's accomplished. I do. I don't think you can. You can't. I don't think if you're looking at it rationally, you can't not respect what he's done. You can't. But at the same time, he's done a lot of bad stuff. But I still respect it. I think he'd be a hero if he played here in Toronto. I get why Bruins fans love him so much. And I think I would rather see players play. And Marchand's, again, Canucks fans, you know this. Marchand took way too many players out of series that shouldn't have happened, right? I want to see players play. I don't want to see players knock each other out in a cheap way. You get knocked out because somebody crushed you because you had your head down, and or you just got, it was bad luck and you got hit, and fine. That's hockey. But Bennett just punches him in the face, and it's just so chicken shit. So I can't get down by that play. I don't know. Am I wrong for that? Should I be better? Zach Lesk in the super chat. Thoughts on the Bennett goal controversy? Not sure how you keep your sanity with that Dangle guy feeding you nonsense 24/7. I love that Dangle guy. I think, Zach, we kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I got to tell you, it's frustrating because watching it, you just never know what the play is going to be, what it's going to be called. I get so frustrated watching goaltender interference after goaltender interference, and you're like, oh, I just don't even know. I don't even know. Jay Devils fan. I'll be 100% honest. As a Devils fan, I'm rooting for every single team but the Rangers. Love the streams, Adam. Fair enough. I get it. I'm surprised the amount of Leaf fans that are rooting for Florida, as if they don't remember what Sam Bennett did to Matthew Nice. Is it possible to have both teams tear each other apart and lose? Because that's what you should be rooting for if you're a Leaf fan. Marchand is first and foremost a punk. Yes, absolutely. Marchand doesn't want the smoke. No, Marchand's never wanted the smoke. He never fights. Never. I think Pasternak's got more fights than Marchand in these playoffs. It's never what he's done. Bennett is a good guy, and most teams would love to have him in their lineup. Agreed, John. John Chan said that. I think the Leafs tried to trade for him when he was in Calgary. They wanted him bad. Dubas really wanted him. He would have been a weapon. It's still a chicken shit play. Here we go on the faceoff. We'll see how the Oilers break out here. I'm excited to see what the Oilers do in the second period here, because they are not the type of team that's just going to be like, yeah, keep scoring on us. They're going to come out flying. Corey Perry line out there. I do wonder how many shifts Warren Fogle is going to get this period, given how that third goal started. We'll see what happens. Darnell Nurse is the one down low there pinching. Draisaitl, McDavid, Zach Hyman out. Looks like the Edmonton Oilers are going to throw some hits to start. Oh, we got a giveaway. Connor Garland shoots it. I think that was Garland. Maybe it was Quinn Hughes. Shoots it high. Would have been better to get that on the net. Warrior Womp, thank you for reminding everybody. 1K likes and we get grippers. Can I get some likes in the chat? Can we get a few likes? We got 1,100 of you here. I'd like to cross 350 likes. Can we do that? Who scores next? That's the poll. I'm going Oilers next. I think the Oilers are going to score next. They're going to try to establish dominance in the first 5 minutes of this period. We'll see if they can do it. They haven't done it yet. It was odd that they didn't start with McDavid. McDavid line out there now. Bouchard with a shot. We got a face-off. 18:37, by the way. David Wilson, no lead is safe. Agreed. Holy baddie alert behind Knobloch. Listen, guys, hot people are allowed to go to the game. I don't even know who you're talking about, but there are hot people at games all the time. Just saying. Hot people are allowed to go. Adam, will you be touching the Major League Hockey retraction? We already did. I talked about the retraction on Friday night. It's pretty simple. Steve had multiple sources on it, and actually multiple people in the media did. Steve felt like he was confident, ready to go with the story, and the main source basically burned him. It happens. It's not what you want to happen. Sucks. But there's been some new information that's come to light that calls the whole bloody thing into question. So, we retracted it. And no, Steve did not get paid by the Saudis. I know we're huge in hockey circles, and we're huge. But the Saudis have not called us to pay us money yet. I'll let you know when that happens, though. I did find that funny that a bunch of people jumped to that conclusion. Well, Steve must have been paid by the Saudis. He knows the Crown Prince. Like, what? What? Oh! Scores, Edmonton. No, is that... They waved it off. That's a goal, though. I told you Edmonton would score next. I told you Edmonton would score next. I told you. That has to be a goal, right? I actually didn't see across the red line. But I feel like Corey Perry in that instance. That's a goal. It's a goal. So he waved it off. So the call on the ice is no goal. Artie. Oh, I don't know. I got to see the behind the Artie angle. Give us the behind the Artie angle. Is it no goal, guys? Hronik's getting a penalty either way. Show me behind. I can't see from that angle. His mitt is over it. Remember, the entire puck has to be over, and they called no goal, so they have to have conclusive evidence. Hard to tell from the straight-on angle. It can be a bit of an optical illusion. Trust me, I'm a Leaf fan. I've had enough goals called back at key situations. Oh, I don't know. That looked like it was in. There was a goal. There was an angle right beside the post that looked like it was right in. But again, that bouncing puck. Man, good for Artie getting his eyes on it, though. Oh, they're actually showing the Situation Room in Toronto. That's cool. To be honest with you, I wish they'd get the Situation Room out of Toronto. Put it somewhere like Minnesota, so people can't be like, oh, there are a bunch of Leaf fans in the Situation Room, which is what people do. It's like, stop it. Not everybody's a Leaf fan. Every other person is a Leaf fan. Not every person. Side view looked like it was a goal to me. But is it conclusive? That's the key. It's not about whether we think. It's not about how it feels. It's about they called it a no goal on the ice. Either way, Edmonton's getting a power play here. So if it's a goal, they might be able to tie it up right after. Imagine it's 3-2 and then they instantly get a penalty. Although I have to say, would it be a penalty if they scored? Because that would technically be a delayed penalty, right? Unless Hronek got it after. What do we got? No goal. Wow. Okay. Listen, if you're an Oilers fan and you're frustrated right now, I get it. Corey Perry's not loving this. You know what? I'll say this. Edmonton's power play looked pretty damn good in the first period. So Canucks are not out of this yet. This is what I was talking about, though. I do think, is that puck? I thought the puck was out of play, but it wasn't. I do think that Edmonton this is going to be their opportunity to establish the dominance that I was talking about. Come out, score a goal in the first 5. You're right back in this game. Vancouver's on their heels. Make it happen. The Edmonton Oilers have scored a playoff goal or a power play goal in 8 straight playoff games, including tonight. By the way, 16:55 left in the first if you're just joining the stream. Welcome. A little shot there by Dakota. Well, no, sorry, that's not Dakota. Joshua, what am I talking about? Damn. He's just another tall man. Oh, man. He's tall. His name is Oh, man. Nils Oh, man. Good little shot. Good little save. Got to give Stuart Skinner credit on that. He looked sharp. Adam, are you cheering for Vancouver or Edmonton? I'm cheering for 7 games so we can do 7 of these streams. I really enjoy this. And you know what? It's kind of cool because, I don't get to hang out with Oilers fans or Canucks fans directly very much. So it's been very cool to do these streams. I'm actually really, really enjoying it. I was looking forward to it. Sunday night, rolling into work at 9:30. How about that? Here we go. Hyman. Draisaitl behind the net. McDavid high. Bouchard. They've been trying to get that floater in and trying to redirect and get people in front of Seeloffs. Hyman's doing a great job, and that's a goal, baby. Leon Draisaitl. Oh my God. He just powered that through. Like, it was like, oh, Seeloff saw that, but he's just, I'm going to put the puck through your body. Damn. Wow. Look at that. So Draisaitl passes it out to, and then he hooks down. He's just skating around straight-legged. Look at this. That is all power. It goes right through Seeloff's glove. Watch. And he's freaking chewing on his mouth guard the entire time. He's got his mouth guard just hanging out of his mouth, doesn't drop it. Gently takes it out of his mouth and then says, let's go. That's a pro hockey goal scorer. That's amazing. Time for Brock Besser hat trick? We'll see. Oilers did exactly what they wanted to do. They got their goal back in the first 5 minutes of the second period. That is exactly what they needed to do. Oh man, that was almost a goal there too. Connor Brown just missed the net. Good forecheck here by the Oilers' fourth line. All over Quinn Hughes. Mikheyev gets kind of hit behind the net there. There's Besser drops a big body. Oh, man. You know what? If that had gone out to Tyler Myers, that would have been bad. Here's Warren Fogle. Oh, Fogle wanted that one. You know that he wants a goal. You know that that guy wants to make good on what happened in the first period. Damn. Fogle wanted that. Okay, Corey Perry is out there. McLeod kind of lobs it into the... Man, that Leon goal was crazy. That was so good. Can we just talk about that mouth guard again? Okay, so they're showing the replay of it now. By the way, 15:01 left in the first. And that is a freight train shot. It's not even that it's fast, it's that it's strong. There's so much power. Okay, so it goes under his arm. That's amazing. What a great shot. And he's just chewing on the mouth guard. Somehow, Leon Draisaitl has gum and a mouth guard in his mouth. How does he do it? And scores 40 goals a year. How? How, though? That German hockey program is going to get scary over the next 15 years. There are some awesome players coming up through that program. They're going to be a real force. It's fun to watch. More good hockey countries means more good hockey players, which means more good hockey to watch. I love it. Plus, we got to keep the Canadians sharp. Oh, Connor Garland just put it wide. Nice little steal. He's been everywhere you need him to be this series. Meme Express, hot take. If you ain't keeping the mouth guard in your mouth, don't use one. No. You got to have something to chew on. Like, you know who's I don't know if you guys, there should be a top 5 mouth guard chewers in the NHL. We should do a list. You know who's like always chewing his mouth guard and never wearing it? James Van Riemsdyk. And it's always neon green. And he's just skating around, chewing on it. Never wears it. Never. Hi, my name is Logs. Sea Logs. Stop it. Stop it. Adam, closet Stutzla fan. Yo, I'm not a closet Stutzla fan. I am a Stutzla fan. I don't like his dives, especially when he draws a penalty against the Leafs. But that's because I'm salty. Right? That's because I'm salty and I'm biased. But if you take Tim Stutzla and you take him out of playing the Leafs, playing some other team, what a spectacular hockey player to watch. Guy rules. Number one. Okay, so we're talking about guys who never wear their mouth guards but chew. They chew the mouth guards. Tkachuk. So Matthew Tkachuk is a chewer. Is Brady Tkachuk a mouth guard chewer? Jacqueline K. How has no player ever choked on their mouth guard yet? I've actually always wondered that. And also players that chew gum when they're playing. How does that not go? You've never had like a cat with a hairball? Never? Never once? Sorry, Adam is cheering for HRR, according to Alan Walsh. No, Alan is cheering for hockey-related revenue. I am cheering for great hockey. Stutzla is going to be a consistent 100-point-plus player. He should. If the Sens can get their shit together on offense, yeah. Absolutely. Brady doesn't chew his mouth guard. Brady Tkachuk. Who else chews his mouth guard? Matthews is a big mouth guard chewer. Interesting. Geno Malkin. Jersey chewer. Geno Malkin chews his jersey? Shea Theodore never chews his bright white mouth guard. Just makes him look like he's got veneers. Every player that wears like a bright white mouth guard, I'm like, we trying to look sprinkly? Beautiful teeth? McDavid has an angry chew of the mouth guard. I haven't seen that this series yet, but I think I know what you're talking about. McDavid has a resting angry face. He does. He does. Gravely Diggs, number 20, number 34, number 66 this year. second, third next year, and Connor Murphy right-handed D for Marner. Infuse prospects into the Leaf system, save $6.5 million on cap. When healthy, Murphy is solid. I haven't seen Connor Murphy enough, but I know he's never healthy. Having 3 draft picks in the first, 2 in the first and 1 in the second would be lovely. And it would be sick to see, let's be honest, Bedard and Marner playing together that'd be some great hockey. I don't know. I don't know what the market for Marner is, and I don't know where he'd waive his no trade. I guess that doesn't matter in this conversation. But I do think the Leafs need to be looking at a puck-moving, right-shot defenseman. They need to be looking at saving $6 or $7 million on moving his contract on, unless you are getting great players back. You can't get dead cap back unless you can LTIR it. And I do think that that's an option for the Leafs. And yeah, you need some prospects. I think what the Leafs would need, they'd probably want actual prospects, like players that have already been drafted and maybe developed a year or two. So you're looking for good systems. Chicago might have a good system. We don't really know yet. Like Bedard's obviously good. There's some younger players there, but haven't seen them all develop yet. But you have to look at teams that draft really, really well. Like the Dallas Stars, for instance. I think they're one of the best drafting teams in the NHL. No one gives them the credit. They're amazing. And the Leafs actually do draft quite well. It's not perfect, but it's better than you'd think, considering they don't have any picks ever. Yeah, that's interesting. I think here's the thing: cap space is the most valuable thing. You think a first round pick is the most valuable thing in a trade chip? You think a center or right shot D is no? Cap space is the number one thing. And so if you are going to move off a player like Mitch Marner, you need a good asset back. You need probably a prospect back, and you need cap space. And remember this. Mark me. Mitch Marner is going to find success wherever he goes. And I bet the next team he plays for in the playoffs, if he's gone, if he's actually truly done as a Leaf, he's going to be fantastic. They're going to deploy him differently. They're going to put him on a different line. And he's going to be great. And everybody's going to laugh at Leaf fans. And we'll deserve it. We'll deserve it. I think the Leafs need a Travis Green type coach. He works the heck out of the players in camp, gets them into shape. Yeah, I guess. But other than the COVID year, I wasn't blown away with Travis Green as a coach of the Canucks. He had all the core of the Canucks players currently. I know Pettersson was injured partially and whatever, but I don't think he's a bad coach. I think Ottawa got a good one. And I think they got a guy who wanted to be there. Like what I liked about the Ottawa coaching search is I think they interviewed Berube and they interviewed Travis Green, and Berube's like, well, I'm not sure. And what I like about Michael Andlauer and Steve Staios is like, oh, you're not sure? You're not here then. You're not coming. You're not going to be a senator. We're not anybody's second choice. And good for them. That's the way you got to operate. Adam, don't forget, he will only go to a cup contending team if he waives. I don't know that that's necessarily true. I think he'd be willing to, not that he wants to miss the playoffs, but I think he'd be willing to go to a team with a all-world talent. Imagine he gets to play next to Bedard and set Bedard up for an entire season. Do you think he says no to that? Okay, you're gonna go to Chicago. You're gonna play a year, and then you're gonna sign 8 more years, and you're gonna play with Connor Bedard for 8 years. I mean, maybe you don't make the playoffs in the first year, but you're definitely going to make the playoffs at some point again, and you're going to be riding shotgun with Connor Bedard. I don't know, man. That seems like a pretty sweet deal. $11:47 left in the second period. Just had a face-off. Been a bit back and forth. What I will say is that I don't think Edmonton has dominated perhaps the way they would have wanted to in this period. I know that they're up in shots, but it's not like Vancouver hasn't kept pace. The game is really a bit of a tightrope walk at the moment. The next goal is going to be a lot. There's Fogle out there. Fogle wants a goal. Fogel's dying for a goal. wearing the goat horns and not in a good way out in the first period. You know Fogel wants to make something happen. He's played well this period. Give him credit. He's a big boy. There's Connor Garland. Another Fogel giveaway to Connor Garland this time. Fogel giveth and Fogel taketh away. Man, I love Connor Garland. Can we have him? Can we take him in Toronto? I would love Connor Garland. Honestly, I think if he's leaving, and I don't think he's leaving, but if he was leaving Vancouver, he's going to Pittsburgh. That's a Kyle Dubas tattooing on your forehead player. $10:29 left in the second period. Carlson in the corner. Playing his first game of the playoffs, looking good. Playing along with Pettersson here. That's pretty cool. You got to like that. Tim Robichaud, what UFO priorities would you bring back? And who is your number one priority for the league? Oh, it's off the post. Draisaitl almost tied this game up. Oilers fans are just berserk, wanting it. Bouchard blocked by Soucy, broken up by Tyler Myers after that. Man. Adam, is watching all these Canucks games changed your mind about Hughes? Listen, in watching all these Canucks games, I haven't seen Hughes in front of his own net once. And that's a compliment because he's always in the offensive zone. Because when he has the puck, nobody can stop him. Quinn Hughes has been spectacular. He's so good. It's crazy. By the way, somebody said they almost forgot to hit like. Well, stop that nonsense. We're at 418. Do you think we can get to 500? Can we do that? I'm just looking at the did Leon on Leon's shot, was he chewing his mouth guard or was he actually wearing it? I got to know. What is your ideal 1-for-1 for Marner, Adam? I love that we're in the middle of the playoff game. We're talking about Leafs trades, but here's what I'd like. If it's a 1-for-1, a young puck-moving defenseman on a team that's done really well. I want a player like how do I peel off one of the Carolina defensemen? How do I peel off a young defenseman from? Oh man, you got to think of players that have been deep. Like you're not getting Trouba or Fox, right? Like Marner is he's a top when he's healthy. He's a top 10 scorer in the NHL. So you have to aim. You have to shoot high here. Man, I'm gonna have to look at that. Marner for Jake Slavin. Yeah, right. Man, I'd love that. But you have to be looking at it like that, right? It's either like you're going to save cap space, but I want a player that's like on the way up, ascendant. Like, because Marner's just reaching his prime right now. So I want somebody back who's making a lot less money, who is a spectacular young puck-moving defenseman. Somebody who can play with Morgan Rielly or replace him. Because what I think is going to happen is I think the Leafs are going to look at moving Morgan Rielly. I don't think they're going to necessarily do it, but at very least, you need at least 2, probably 3 good puck movers in your lineup. They have Liljegren, who, when he's on, he's good. Good. We'll take him as a third pair puck-moving defenseman. That's great. He can do a power play. That's great. You need 2 more. I want somebody who's got some size too. And I don't need them to be, oh, wow, big hit. Big hit. Nurse to CC. I don't know. Oh, Miller just crushed an Oiler. Oh, and that guy just came back at him and missed. Damn. I love these hits. I love that we're hating each other here. That was Janmark, I think. Janmark's pissed. Sometimes you can't see the player's number. Little bit of a quieter game for the Lindholm line. They've looked okay. Garland's always really noticeable, but a little bit quieter. They had a killer game 1 and game 2. It's been an exciting series. Like, 4-1 comeback game, OT game in game 2. Almost a natural hat trick in the first period of this game. It's a great series. Really good, entertaining hockey. What about a trade involving Marner and Noah Dobson? I think if you're Lou Lamoriello, you're calling about Mitch Marner. He's exactly the kind of guy your team needs. But if you're going to do that, you need to find somebody who can finish too. Because they don't have a lot of finishers on the Islanders. They got playmakers. They need finishers. Mitch Marner is an elite, top-of-the-world playmaker. He needs to speed up his game when he's playmaking, but he's amazing. Marner first, second for Shabbat, Chychrun, and 40% retained on both. Why would the Leafs send a first and a second to Ottawa for Shabbat and Chychrun? Chychrun's contract's about to expire, and Shabbat's really good. I know you're trying to rip me off here, but no. I do like Shabbat a lot. I do. I think he's a good player. And I like Chychrun a lot too. And by the way, the Leafs are totally willing to trade within their division. Don't listen to anybody who says they wouldn't. Draisaitl in. Oh, what a save. I feel off. And Draisaitl, is he chewing it? Yeah, he's chewing that mouth guard. He knows. He's feeling it. Sheilov, big save, baby. Do you want cap space or are we just swapping salaries? Oh, no, you need some cap space too. Okay, here's a good. Let's look at this. Let's look at good teams. Okay, you want a player that's been there. Is Shea Theodore available? 28 years old. Vegas. Let's go to Montreal. I'm just looking at cap friendly. Yeah, I don't think you're going after their defenseman. I don't think they've got the archetype you're looking for. Who's good on defense? Rangers. Yeah, it's the thing too. They got to have the cap space to take him on. I don't know. You know who's going to make some sort of big move? Is Utah. Utah's going to make a big move. I wouldn't be shocked if they made a play for Marner. I don't know if they could convince him. But if you look at, first off, I just want to say that Utah has 5 defensemen signed. Can you get good depth scoring? Can you get Sean Durzi? And can you get Clayton Keller? Would that be too much? I don't think it should be. This is Mitch Marner. And I like that Clayton Keller is signed for 4 more years. Oh, there's penalty. 7:30 left in the second period, guys. What happened here? Oh. I don't know about that call. If you're an Oilers fan and you're upset, I am with you. And Ekholm is definitely saying F off. I don't think that should have been a call. That's just playoff hockey, guys. That's a regular season call. I didn't like that. 7:22 left in the second period. Susie going to the locker room. Don't love that. Marner for McAvoy. What? So Marner can come back and torch the Leafs in the playoffs? Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. You would have to retain 50% and take Anderson's contract for Montreal to want Marner. That's the Beaver Queen that wrote that. Then Montreal is stupid. And I don't think they're stupid. That is ridiculous. Montreal would kill to have a guy like Mitch Marner. Don't kid yourselves, kids. just because he didn't play well in the playoffs or wasn't deployed or however you want to frame it. Mitch Marner walks into Montreal and he's the best player on the roster instantly. You can love Cole Caulfield. You know, you want Cole Caulfield to score 50 goals? Mitch Marner. And Mitch Marner's better. He is. Yeah. No, I think the Leafs taking Josh Anderson's contract in a Mitch Marner swap. It's like, how many Lane Hudsons are you giving me? Now, I like Josh Anderson. I think he'd actually be valuable for the Leafs, but he does make too much money and for too long. And for whatever reason, has never been able to put it together. Unless you're talking about Josh Anderson being the one who's retained. In which case, that would be interesting because that'd put him at like 2 point or 3 point something, 2 point something. Canucks power play looks a little Zadorov with the point. Besser, Miller, Besser. Oh, good little play. Joshua down deep. Sorry, Garland down deep. Joshua in front of the net. Oh. Would you consider the following? Marner and a first and a second to Ottawa for Shabbat, Chikrin, 50% retained on Shabbat, and a second or rights to re-sign Chikrin, making a hockey trade, not a ripoff. I love Chikrin and I love Shabbat. I still don't know why the Leafs need to include any draft picks in that. That's how I feel. If they called, if I was Treliving, I'd be like, why am I giving you the best player and the best 2 draft picks in this? Especially because Ottawa needs what Mitch Marner brings. And without Chikrin and Shabbat, what is Ottawa's defense? And also remember, I guess we're assuming in this scenario that Mitch would waive. It would keep him in Ontario. I don't think he'd hate that. Trade Marner to San Jose straight up for the first overall pick. Would you do it? Man, would I do it? Okay, you got to think about, like, obviously in a vacuum, that's really attractive, right? Oh, I thought that was a goal. Ooh. I thought Edmonton had the tie goal there, and I think the fans did too. 4:09 left in the second period. Riley for Nurse, 1-for-1. Proximal. Get out of here. If you're gonna do a 1-for-1, I actually, you know what? No, I want Nurse CC. I want them both. Give them to me. We can fix them. Would the Leafs take Jake Sanderson? Oh no, you're just saying Jake Sanderson without Shabbat and Chikrin. Yeah, but Jake Sanderson's one guy. He's got to have some help. It's going to be like him and what? Travis Hamonic? Yeah, San Jose never take that deal. I agree. San Jose also has a lot of bad money on the books. Like, no offense to Mark Edward Vlasic, but I'm sure they ideally, like, I'm sure they wish that they didn't have that deal on their cap. Not that Marner's bad money at all, but they have big deal. Yeah, it's not part of their thing. You do not want Nurse. Steve would die. Marner for Zarly Zalapsky and Peter Sikora. Drew, you might be onto something. I loved Zarly Zalapsky. And Peter Sikora was good too. Thomas Harley and Wyatt Johnson for Marner. God, I love me some Dallas Stars. Oh, baby. See, what you need, if you're, you need a Winnipeg type deal. Like, where's your Velarde, Iafallo, and cap room? Right? The Dubois deal? If you're going to do this. You need depth scoring. You need guys who are going to play the PK. If it's Dallas and New York in the finals, who you got? Man, the New York Rangers just lost their first game of the playoffs yesterday. I know that they didn't have the toughest first round matchup, but Carolina's not a bad team, and they're up 3-1 on them already. New York's a lot better than I think people give them credit for because no one's paying attention to New York. Dallas is looking like a machine. It's going 7. You know what? Screw it. Rangers. I said it. Rangers. You need your GM to steal a trade. Mitch isn't going to Columbus. No, he never was. Columbus, I think, when he was a restricted free agent, I'm pretty sure that Columbus put a deal in front of him that was like 13 or 14 million. That's what I've heard. I can't confirm that or verify that, but I'm pretty sure there was a deal that they would have offered him that would have been the highest in the league, and they would have paid it. And Marner always wanted to be a Leaf. And it wouldn't have made sense for him to go to Columbus anyway. They're such a poorly run organization over the last decade. He knew that. It looks like we got a power play here. Nurse with the power. Ooh, Darnell, my friend. Not the strongest game. 3:18 left in the second period. 2 of those minutes, assuming the Canucks do not score, will be eaten up by this power play. Oh, yeah. It wasn't the cross check. It was the push down on Carlson. I don't know why Knobloch's shaking his head. Come on. Come on, Chris. You know. Chris Knobloch, resting worried face constantly. Poor Johnny Gaudreau. Listen, Johnny knew the Blue Jackets were bad and poorly run, and he chose to sign there anyway. Did you guys see his dad on Twitter saying that he would totally accept a trade back to Calgary? He fumbled. And you know who fumbled that really was Chuck Fletcher in Philadelphia. I think Johnny was expecting to go to Philly, and then they made the Tony DeAngelo trade because they had to get Tony DeAngelo, and then they didn't have the cap space to sign him. Like, dude, what the hell was that? Not that it would have made the Flyers that much better, but would have helped them this year. Pettersson's had a bit of a quiet night. I'd like to see him bring it up a little bit. This game has hit a bit of a quiet patch, to be honest. Lindholm, Miller, Hughes, back to Miller. Oh, Lindholm into scores! Wow. So that's JT Miller to Elias Lindholm. Big goal. Besser didn't get that. That was Lindholm. So both Lindholm and Besser are on hat-trick watch right now. What happened there? So first off, good little play in by JT Miller from the point. Lindholm receives the pass. It kind of bounces off him. Watch this. Back to Miller. Back to Lindholm. Over to Quinn Hughes. Back to Miller. Lindholm's wide open. Nobody picks him up. What the hell is that? Nobody ties him up. He just kind of skates. And he doesn't even take a stride. He just sort of slides in. Oh, and it's off the skate. To the stick, backhand, over the right pad of Stuart Skinner. Steve said it best, the D in the Stars logo stands for disrespect. You'll get no Stars disrespect from me. I just think that you're a fool if you think that the Rangers are a joke. If you think that they've had an easy ride, and they have, or at least they did in the first round, the Carolina Hurricanes are a fantastic hockey team. Last year, they couldn't score in the playoffs, still got to the East Final. This year, they can't get the goaltending that they want, and you're seeing what happens. Yeah, David Mosher, that was pylon defense. Pure Edmonton Oiler stinky defense. Just nobody picking anybody up. And I think that's why Jay Woodcroft really wanted to switch up what the Oilers had on defense going into this year, because they do that shit all the time. That's an over the glass, but did it bounce? Did it bounce off the glass or not? Adam, are you watching from space? You're so far behind. No, I'm watching from somewhere further out, the Sportsnet app. I'm watching on a computer. I don't have cable in here. I know. 129. So we're going to see if this is a penalty. Man, if the Oilers still want Markstrom, we'll take Bouchard for him. Good luck. The Oilers are not giving up Evan Bouchard. No chance. That guy is everything they wanted Oscar Klefbom to be. I think this is a puck over glass penalty, guys. I think this is. I think that should be a penalty. I didn't see that hit the glass, but I guess they did. I'm wondering if people are watching and they're way ahead because of the illegal streams. If you're sailing the seven seas, I bet you have a better stream conversion than Sportsnet does. I don't know why this is so delayed for them, but it always is about 4. Oh, what a hit by Zadorov. Holy smokes. And he's stuffing him into the bench, too. It's Evander Kane, a guy he wants to get under his skin. Damn. Why is Zadorov getting a penalty? Oh, he held him in. Okay, that's stupid. Kind of hilarious move by Zadorov, though. That's a weak call. That's a weak call. That's such a weak call. But you know what, man? Good for Kane. Okay, yeah, you got me, but you got a penalty, you doofus. Okay, Zadorov, when he sticks... Yeah, once the linesman rolls up, Zadorov's got to get out of there. That was a big hit. Just let him go into the bench and then leave. Yeah, I can see why they made that call. Oh, the stick hit him in the head, too. Or the skate hit him in the head. Wow. Yeah, he held him in there. See, Evander Kane gets the last laugh. He's just laughing at him. Oh, did they get a bench minor? Oh, there's Chris Knobloch looking worried, as usual. Who's sitting on the bench? Who got the bench minor? Why was there a bench minor for roughing? Who got roughed? I don't know about this. I don't know about this at all. That's wild. Yo, man, looking this objectively, there's no I don't see how there was a bench minor for roughing there. That's ridiculous. Zadaddy eats minors for breakfast. Damn. Oh, was Kane holding the stick? Okay, but he didn't get a penalty for that. He got a penalty for roughing. Did Corey Perry punch him in the head? I don't know about that one. 104 left in the second period. The ref attempted to drop the puck. The linesman attempted to drop the puck and then didn't because linesmen do this. There we go. Face off. 1 minute to go. I didn't really think that there should have been matching penalties there. I could totally see why Zadorov got a call. Here we go. You know what, though? 4-on-4, these two teams opening it up. Like, cool. I'm all for it. Throw McDavid, Draisaitl out there. Throw Bouchard out there. Throw Hughes out there. Give me Miller, Besser. Like, give it to me. That's a great way to start the third. If you're the Oilers, you don't play two defense on a 4-on-4. I know traditional hockey men would, but to me, you do McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman. Oh, what a save by Seelov! Woo! Seelovs with a big save. Shelovs. There's another one of my fabulous pronunciations. Adam, you're close to 30 seconds behind most of us. That's why I say align the streams with me. Shelovs with a big save here. Wow. The Oilers, if the Oilers if they score there, that is it. It's a different game going into the third. Obviously, they've tied the game, but you know what I mean? Those are the daggers. Anything under a minute to go and you get a goal, you let a goal in, that sucks. It's the worst. Shelogs. Shelovs. Wow. I got my stream aligned. It wasn't that hard, bro. Not rocket science. Thank you. I know I can't get a time on the game feed. We're gonna have to figure that one out. I keep saying to the guys, we got to get that going. We would align streams if you clapped every puck drop. Okay, fine. I'll start doing that more. So, guys, I'm going to take a bit of just a breather, get some water and stuff, and I'm going to play a clip for you. And the clip is, why did the Leafs have to move on from Sheldon Keefe? Yes, that's right. It's a Canucks Oilers game, and I'm giving you Leafs content. You know why? Because it's always about the Leafs, always and forever. Enjoy. I'll be back in 10 minutes. When they talked about the head coach thing, somebody asked him about Keefe, and he said, I don't want to say that the players stopped listening, but the message stops hitting home.
We know that.
But that was 3 years ago, the message stopped hitting home.
Exactly. Like, we know that almost for certain. No, it started to work. It started to work. They scored more playoff-style goals. It was
Which
working.
series?
Well, this is the thing.
Which consecutive game where they didn't score more than 3 goals did this
No, I
work?
know. It started to work. No.
The one where they scored 2, or the other one where they scored 1?
No, but
or the other one where they scored 2.
When
Jesse, there was one where they scored 3.
The one.
when I started watching that after I watched that Amazon documentary, I started watching the Leafs through a bit of a different lens, and I started going, okay, beyond the fact that they won 4-1 tonight, which is great. How'd they win? Like, how did they do it? How did they get those 4 goals? Like, there were games where the Leafs won, the Leafs lost, where I'm like, wow, I don't know, this one hit an ass. This one, I don't know, goalie probably should have saved it. This one hit the linesman, stuff like that. But I started to watch. I'm like, okay, is that goal going in the playoffs? All right, dude rips it down the wing, and he comes in and he snipes it top Ched.
Not the Leafs.
Glove side. That happens.
But not the Leafs.
It decreases in the playoffs big time. Like, even, like, we were just talking about Panarin.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Panarin? What do you think? Like, high-end skill, being able to kick yourself in the forehead for some reason.
Vision.
Yeah.
Vision.
Great Sally.
Yeah, vision, being able to make plays.
Hi guys. I guess somebody said in the chat, "Am I tweaking?" No, you're not tweaking. The clip cut short. We're not really sure why, but here I am. Break cut short, but ready to go. You can ask me anything in the chat if you want to. It's funny checking out the I'm looking at just looking at the chat here. Skinner is fine. Our defense needs to be better. I think Skinner has been fine. I think he has been fine. Adam, have a coffee. You were exhausted last live stream and barely made it. That's true. You know what it is too? Like I think it's a 30s thing, and I think it's a having a kid thing. You get to Friday night and you're like in your 20s and you're like, all right, now I can party. Finally, you can unleash me. I can stay up late and get excited. And then, you got a 5-year-old, you're chasing her around all week, and Friday night rolls around and you're like, God, I just can't wait to crawl into bed and have the best sleep of my life. And the Oilers and Canucks joyfully put us into overtime. And I was exhausted. LOL, Adam. Hope you weren't scrambling back into panic. No, you know what? Producer Hayden just sent me a message. And he's like, hey, no big deal, but, the clip cut out for whatever reason. So come on back whenever you can. That's why I love producer Hayden. Doesn't freak out. A good producer doesn't freak out. You want to do something fun? Hayden, I don't know if you know this, but Hayden's done a lot of production work for Sportsnet in the past. And he put together a stat sheet for me. And I think we should go through it because this is really good stuff. He put a lot of work into it. And I feel like producer Hayden, as you get to know producer Hayden, like I get to know him, I think you should know how smart this guy is. So first off, I mentioned this. The Canucks are 0-2 all-time in the playoffs against the Oilers, 92 and 1986. By the way, in 1986, the Oilers swept them in 3 games because that was back when it was a best of 5 in the first round. Canucks are 5-1 against the Oilers this season, regular season and playoffs. Canucks have outscored the Oilers. By the way, 3 of those games were like the worst Oiler games of the season. Remember when remember game 1 and the Oilers were lost like 8-1? They're like, oh, that must be a fluke. And then they did it again 3 days later on like the Saturday. That was nuts. Canucks have outscored the Oilers 29-15 this season, regular season and playoffs. A little unfair because, again, these are the pre-Knobloch Oilers. They were bad. Through the first 2 games, Vancouver and Edmonton scored 8 goals each. The shots were 43-49. So Vancouver had 43, Edmonton 49. But a noticeable difference between the Canucks and the Oilers in the second period before this game. I think the Oilers turned the tide a little bit. The Canucks dominated the second periods in game 1 and game 2, 21-10 shots. Face-off percentage, 58 to Edmonton's 42. Power plays, Vancouver coming into this game were 1 for 6. Edmonton were 2 for 4. I believe they're now 3 for 5. Hits coming into this game, 77 Vancouver, 57 Edmonton. That's not entirely surprising. Guys like Zadorov and Myers. Vancouver also blocking a lot of shots, 31-18. And the best lines, according to expected goals for Vancouver, top line Suter, Miller, Besser. Edmonton, top line Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl. Thank you, producer Hayden, for that. He's a smart guy, that producer Hayden. I wonder what the third period stats are. Oilers will come back and lose an OT. Man, that sounds a lot like the Leafs, Joe Sasso. More like Joe Sassy. You know what I'm saying? Hurry up and start the period. I can't stay up much later. Hey, Paul, you got to man up, Paul. You got to stay up. Adam, trade proposal. Oh, my God. Here we go. Jeez. I wonder if are Canucks and Oilers fans enjoying all the Marner trade proposals tonight? Would be crazy if it's the Canucks versus the Rangers. Yeah, a Canucks versus Rangers or Bruins rematch in the final would be cool. It's looking more and more like it would have to be the Rangers, but that would be sick. Adam, as a fellow Sir Oliver Mowat alumni, What was one of your favorite moments in high school? Starring in a play with Steve Dangle before the YouTube thing. That's right. Pre-YouTube Steve Dangle. He and I were leads in a very dark play that our drama teacher wrote, and she was a great writer. But it dealt with depression and pregnancy, not teen pregnancy, just regular pregnancy, and cheating. And it was 3 different vignettes. And I'm not going to lie, my character was kind of a shitty guy. My character got his best friend's girlfriend pregnant. And my whole scene took place in a taxi cab with my character's girlfriend pregnant and giving birth in the backseat. And I was 17 years old. And Steve's entire scene, that play, was him being on a bridge. This is dark. I'm going to be honest with you. And contemplating suicide and somebody talking him off the ledge. Isn't that nuts? We were 16, 17 years old. I don't even know if we were 17. We were that was grade 10. It was dark. And it was a really good play, and it was really well received. How about that? Did they go to school in Toronto? Did Steve and I go to school in Toronto? Yeah, we were in Scarborough. Sir Oliver Mowat Collegiate in Scarborough, Port Union and Lawrence. A nameless person who has been VIP for 3 months. I don't know why your name isn't showing up, but you do have. It looks like you're a person with something over your face in your profile picture. I vote SDPN producer, the Bachelor style bios. So you want me to get producer Maddie, producer Hayden to create Bachelor bios? I can do that. I can't do it right now, but I can definitely do it. That is a wild play for high school. I know it was wild. We're grade 10. It was grade 10. Janet Kish was our drama teacher. She really was brilliant. And she taught us how to command a stage, not just be up on stage and have our arms flopping around. She taught us how to move on a stage and never lose the audience. It's called blocking. And even when something's going on behind you when you're on stage, for instance, you never turn around and let them see your butt. You're always sort of angled to the side. So you're seeing it out of your periph, but you're open to the entire audience because you never want to turn your back on the audience in a stage play. One of those things that I was in a band in high school, and it was so much fun. It was the best thing I could have done in high school. It's the highlight of my high school was that band. And I used that. And then when I used to do television, I used it there too, because television is just a big stage, right? Yeah, she taught us a lot. And that play made us feel emotions that we didn't understand. It was crazy. And we used to rehearse every day after school. School would end at 3:30, and we would be in there till 8 or 9 o'clock rehearsing 6-7 days a week. It was wild. Sir Adam, why are you in front of your 2 friends' crotches? Well, that's my crotch, actually. Not that impressive. And I'm sure you're not surprised. This is Jesse's crotch. We had to cover it up. Too impressive. I'm sure you're not that surprised. It's Jesse. Some guys have all the luck. He's actually, so I'm Johnny Cage. He's a referee. And then Steve is over here, and he's Sub-Zero. It's actually a really cool mural. We should do a tour of the SDPN studio. But yeah. LOL, SDPN night at the bar. You should do a band reunion. Would be all sorts of awesome. I don't think anybody needs to hear that. Elliot Friedman says Calvin Pickard is starting for the 3rd period. Damn, how do you get sources like that tell you who is dressing for the 3rd? That's access. There's 2 or 3 guys with access like that. It's CJ, it's Elliot Friedman, and Bob McKenzie would have, but he's semi-retired. Those are the only people I know that have that kind of access. That's crazy. Why is Pickard in now? I don't know why he's in. I honestly don't think Stuart Skinner's been that bad. I think his defense has not been great. Good for Calvin Pickard, by the way. Former Leaf player. Happy to see him doing well. Know that it's been a real up and down career. Dave Glatz, get good, Adam. Been trying, Dave. Working my whole career, buddy. Skinner is washed. Call up Jack Campbell. Yeah. Friedman has to have the locker rooms bugged. He actually is a super spy. Not even an insider. Same. I agree. He and CJ, I'm sure they maybe they invested together in microphones that are just everywhere in the NHL. How else would you know that? Draisaitl with a shot early on in the third period here. It's 4-on-4. You got Ekholm, Draisaitl, Bouchard, and McDavid out there. That's a pretty good lineup. Don't hate that. Canucks are going to change here. Their best guys were on. 28 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Zadorov and Corey Perry are in the penalty box right now. Zadorov for absolutely laying out and then keeping Evander Kane in the bench for way too long, put him right into the bench, and then a bench minor assessed to the Oilers for roughing, which really should have just been Evander Kane holding Nikita Zadorov's stick, but they called it roughing. VGK 0803 got to split McDavid and Draisaitl line or they'll keep losing. Well, they won the last game with them playing together. They lost game one with them not playing together. And I don't know that Draisaitl's healthy enough to drive his own line, to be honest. You need guys like Nuge and Evander Kane to step up and be what they're paid to be, which is great secondary scores. And they can. Evander Kane almost scored. I've really liked Evander Kane's game tonight, actually. Oh, here we go. Shilov's with a good little cover there. Like that. Would you take Igor Shesterkin or Jake Ottinger? Shesterkin every day. Not that I don't like Otter. I think he's great. He's good. I think Shesterkin is this weird to say, still underrated as a goalie? When people talk about great goalies, they talk about Saros, they talk about Hellebuck. Sorokin's name comes up, and it should. But Shesterkin is, for me, the best goalie year after year in the league. He's amazing. He's won every league he's been at. He was incredible in the KHL. The guy rocks. Dave Glatz, Adam, you're the best, bud. I love watching you. Thanks, Dave. I love watching you too. I'm kidding, Dave. I don't know where you live. Adam, what's the percentage Matt Murray plays in the NHL again? Samuel, I am going to go with 100%. And I wouldn't be shocked if Matt Murray is the Leafs' third goalie. He might even be their starter with the Marlies. He's a Toronto kid and wanted to be a Maple Leaf really badly. And his dad was a lifelong fan, and his dad passed away. They were very close. I think it was very special for him to be able to play in Toronto when he was healthy. If you look up his numbers, they're actually pretty good. But he only played 19 games and then got really hurt. So I think, I actually think that his hip was going for a long, long time. It was probably the reason for his downfall in Pittsburgh and in Ottawa. Yeah. So I think Matt Murray plays again. And if I were him, stay with the Leafs organization, sign an AHL deal. You can always upgrade it to a two-way deal once you have it together at the AHL level. AHL is a tough league for goaltenders, by the way. Really, really tough. People don't give it credit. Very tough league. If you can get it going in the A, you'll probably be okay in the NHL. Would you take Murray over Jones as a third goalie? Why can't they re-sign both? You probably lose. Oh, there's a penalty. Was that Zadorov or Ian Cole? I think that's Zadorov. And that's a stupid penalty. Nikita, you can't do that. Don't make it easy for the refs, man. They just gave you a 4-on-4. You got lucky last period. That's his second penalty in the last 5-6 minutes of hockey. You can't do that, especially to McDavid, man. What are we doing, Nikita? Crunch him. Use the butt. Drop the Zadaddy butt on McDavid. Don't use your stick like that. That's stupid. Big Z getting rested. No kidding. That's stupid. You can't do that. Is that gold medalist Stützle or McFraud? Odessa, come on. That's an honest to God trip. You know it. Oh, wow. Shilov's with good, solid position on that. Zadaddy giveth and Zadaddy taketh away. True, Dissolving Dream. True. Hey, by the way, can we get a little check-in from where everybody's tuning in tonight? Where are you watching from? And don't just say your living room. I want to know what city you're from. I'm going to start reading them out here. We got an Oilers power play. This is their chance to get back in the game. McDavid driving in, doing McDavid things. He just can't get the shot away. High up to Evan Bouchard. McDavid trying to get it across. Blocked by the Vancouver Canucks. They can't get possession, though. Oilers will maintain Nugent Hopkins along the boards. Evan Bouchard out by the blue line. Back to Nugent Hopkins at the boards. A shot. Shilov somehow stops it because I don't think he saw it. Went off the blocker. Bouchard to Draisaitl. Back to Bouchard. A shot. Deflected. Right down in front of the net. The perfect type of deflection for Zach Hyman to just put in. And he's swearing because he knows that was a really good opportunity he just couldn't convert on. All right, we got a whole bunch of check-ins here. Oh, Hayden just texted me and said, do the claps. Sorry, I will do the claps. Fredericton, Sydney, Australia, Dawson Creek, BC, Oakville, Bridgewater, Champlain, Quebec, Syracuse, Windsor. Here we go. 15:58 left in the third period here. Surrey, BC, New Providence, New Jersey, Tampa, Oshawa, Grand Bank, Newfoundland, Gothenburg, Sweden, Nebraska checking in. Barrie, Baton Rouge, New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. I love that's next near Sydney Harbor. Sydney Harbor, Nova Scotia. I love the East Coast of this country. I would move back to Nova Scotia in a heartbeat if my entire life, family, and career were not here. If it were just me, it'd be an easy choice. Lynn Lake, Manitoba, birthplace of Mike Babcock. Oh, that's good. I can't do a Mike Babcock voice. We'll have to get Steve to do that sometime. His impression of Babs was awesome. He's a good player. Good from a good family. He always had his lips pursed like this. Zadorov's out of the box. The Oilers got 5 shots on that power play and didn't put anything in. They're outshooting the Canucks now 31-15. You have to start to say that Shilov is making a big difference here. Dave, wow, you're way behind us all. Yeah, well, align your screen with me, guys. I already told you I'm watching on the Sportsnet app, and I told you they're behind. Oh, big hit by Miller there on. We get it. Suter turns the puck around. Out. First line is going to change. Kind of a bummer for them because I'm sure they would have wanted some scoring chances. I love Steve's Tavares robot impression. Yeah, Steve's impressions are actually really, really good. His Tavares one's good. Oh, nice little play up. Mikheyev chips it past Nurse. This is Edmonton's weakest defense pair. You got to chip past, press them low, and then just get set up in the offensive zone. I don't love Nurse CC together. Maybe you just want to contain your problems to one defense pair, but I do not understand why they play those players together. Zig saying Miller is bodying dudes tonight. Yes. Crushing bods. Setting up goals. JT Miller. McDavid's kryptonite is Shilov's. Who would have thought? Couldn't be me. Listen, man. I try to know as much about hockey as I possibly can, and I learn more every single year, and I will guarantee I have not seen this player play until the playoffs. And I would say that most of you haven't either. And that's okay. That's okay. The Canucks are going to have a monster duo next year with Demko and Shilovs. I think DeSmith starts next year in the minors, if not on a different team. You know, here's the thing. I want to remind everybody about Akira Schmid, and I mentioned him previously in the game, but you may not have been here. Akira Schmid was unbelievable for the New Jersey Devils last year in the playoffs. And this year he spent most of the season in the AHL. And that's because sometimes you get a young goalie who's hot, but it's a different thing to do it all year long. You bring it like the Leafs had Matthew Nyes play amazing for them in the playoffs until Sam Bennett took him out. a la Brad Marchand. And this year he looked good, and then there were weeks where he was there, he was playing, but he wasn't the force that you were used to seeing. And then in the playoffs, he picked it back up again, and that's because doing a full season takes a lot more than a lot of these young guys are used to. It takes them a year or two to get used to it. It does. DeSmith will get paid somewhere. Yeah, I think he'll listen. Good backups are hard to find. Guys that can play 30 games. Let's look at Casey DeSmith's numbers. Casey DeSmith. Let's have a look at his numbers this year. Really, strong numbers in the playoffs. We knew that. So yeah, okay. So his save percentage is an .896, which you don't love. The Canucks were really, really good, but this is the only time in his entire career where his save percentage has dipped below 9. He had some really good backup years in Pittsburgh. I would expect him to rebound. And he still was 12-9, but I'm sure that they would are expecting more than an .896 save percentage from Casey DeSmith. Oh, forgot to do the claps again. Sorry, guys. $13:24 left in the third period. If we are aligning ourselves, I'd take DeSmith on the Leafs behind Wall all day long. See, I like DeSmith a lot. I think the Leafs they're going to need a goalie who can play more than, not that DeSmith can't, and I'm sure he would tell you he could. I think you need a proven goalie who is regularly playing 40 or 50 games. Because I am not convinced Joe Woll can stay healthy. It's clear Brad Treliving is not. Here we go for the face-off. I don't know the time because Sportsnet is not showing it. So I can't give it to you. And the linesman won't drop the puck because he sucks. Here we go. Puck dropped. Still don't know what the time is because Sportsnet is refusing to show it. 13:16. Hellebuck to Toronto. Hell yeah, brother. That's what I want. Schmid got the win for Switzerland's national team today at the Worlds for his birthday. Let's go, Devils. Can the Canes and Rangers both lose, please? They can, just not in the same series. Watching from San Diego, USA on my way to the rink for Beer League. Cheers, Aim. I think he means Adam. Thank you, Brian Lopez. Enjoy. That's noted San Diego Gulls fan, Brian Lopez. Just noticed the different pads in the Oilers' net, and I'm like, when did that happen? That happened at the start of the... Okay, the linesman. Got it. Drop the puck. Oh, my God. Here we go. 13:14 left. You guys, eyes on 58. The linesman just loves doing the fake out. Stop it. We're not here to see you. We want to watch a hockey game, not a linesman drop a puck at a face-off. It's so funny because they're like, well, we want the face-offs to be as fair as possible. If you watched hockey any time before this decade, you should go back and watch a playoff game from the 90s. When you see face-offs, guys are like punching each other in the face before the puck's even dropped. It's like, it's the most ridiculous thing. And it's like, well, we have to preserve the sanctity of the game. Oh, yeah, like face-offs have always been entirely fair. Just drop the puck and play some hockey, please. Watching from Vegas, you were only 4 or 5 seconds behind my TNT feed. Refresh your stream, Adam. I'm streaming on Sportsnet 2, and you're half a minute behind. Okay, maybe I'll do that. Here we go. I'm gonna do that right now. Here we go. Refreshing. Wow, I was behind. What the hell, Sportsnet? Holy moly. Okay, 12:26 is where I'm at. I didn't miss anything, thankfully. The Oilers have 10 shots this period, by the way. And the Vancouver Canucks have 0 shots. That's 10 shots Oilers, 0 shots Vancouver. Maybe we could ask Zadorov not to take another penalty if we're Canucks fans. If we're Oilers fans, we're saying, please, Big Zaddy, drop another trip on McDavid. 4-2 Vancouver. Breakfast 89. Stop wasting her time and drop the effing thing. That's what I'm saying, guys. 90s waxing poetically about the old days. Dude, try watching the 60s. Yeah, but the 60s is like a different game, guys. It's a different game. It is. Like, hockey is not the same. 90s, I at least think, like, 90s was intense. Pre-dead puck era, 90s is really, really good hockey. Like 1990 to 1996, I would say. After the Devils' first cup, it started to get boring in 95. Not that I minded. The Leafs did pretty well in that era. Oh. Janmark just snowed Shilovs. If Zadorov hadn't taken a penalty this game, Janmark would have got a nice punch in the face there. But he can't risk it. Pickard with a good little save there. Goalie equipment, especially masks, were better in the 90s. I know. Why are pads so much less cool now? Go look at Curtis Joseph's pads or Felix Potvin's pads. Why are pads so much less cool? They just looked cool. And why does nobody else have yellow pads like Marc-Andre Fleury? Watching from Coachella Valley, and I can tell you that Shilovs did not look this good during the AHL season. See what I mean? Goalies get hot in the playoffs, it happens, and then the next year they're not that good. Icing. What game would you recommend going back and watching from the 90s? Any standouts? Okay. Since you're on this stream, I would recommend watching any game, and I believe all of these are available for free on YouTube. You can look them up. A lot of the Toronto Maple Leafs ones are available. Go and watch a Vancouver Canucks New York Rangers game from the 94 finals. Go watch that. Watch like I'm talking about a hotly contested series. Woo, good save. Because that went to 7 games. That was a crazy series. That's a all-time classic Stanley Cup series. One of the best ever. And I'm sorry that Vancouver came out on the wrong end of it, because man, that was a great series. Start there and then see what comes up in your timeline on the right side. Leafs Blues finals when Dougie did the double fake on Curtis Joseph to win. Also, the Leafs Blues series was spectacular. One that's actually underrated, Leafs Sharks in the second round in 1994, before the Leafs got absolutely blown out of the water in the third round by the Vancouver Canucks, who went on to lose in the finals. Pavel Bure was just a different animal. But I'll tell you, that Leafs Sharks series was something else. That was cool. If you could recall any active former Leaf back to the team, who would it be? Zach Hyman. All day. Zach Hyman. Guy's incredible. 50 goal scorer? Okay. Come play with Matthews again. 250 goal scorers. Let's go. 70s Broad Street Bullies, way more intense than this. Also violent. Legal murder. Yeah, those are great series to watch. But again, like I said, it's a different game. I feel like the 90s is a little bit closer to what this is, because in the dead puck era that came in the late 90s, early 2000s, when scoring just dropped off a cliff for 10 years, it actually is a much different game than what we watch today. Whereas I think late 80s, early 90s is much more similar to what we watch today, with a lot more violence. People used to just regularly swing at each other's heads. Happened all the time. Stussy over the line here. Edmonton has conceded one shot to the Vancouver Canucks in this third period. Not a great recipe for success when trying to defend a lead. Oh, just dropped here. .10:22 left in the third. Oh, what a save by Sheloff. Oh, my God. On that Evan Bouchard slap shot. Boy, listen, the Canucks have got to get it together here. The Oilers are really pushing. Shelovs is bailing them out. This is a first star game for him so far. 10 more minutes to go, but the Vancouver Canucks have got to get it together. They can play way better than this, and they've played like crap in the third period. This is when it counts. There's Connor Garland being Connor Garland, just pressing that puck, willing that puck into the Oilers zone, and here come the Oilers right back. Quinn Hughes defending. That's offside. Wow. No, they did not swing at each other's heads. Jesus, man, you're so full of shite. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Go watch Bobby Hall. Oh, not Bobby Hall. Bobby Clark. Crazy man. Lunatic. Would you ever have the Oak Leafs on the podcast? I don't know if the Oak Leafs ever speaks or if he just tweets. I do like him very much, though. Seems like a really good guy. Just count out the clock for 5 seconds. I can do that. Few penalties there not called. Yeah, guys, I don't know what you're expecting. 10 minutes to go, 4-2 game. There will be no penalties. There will be no penalties unless it's Zadorov in the skates with McDavid like the one earlier. You're not going to see any penalties. You're going to see if there's a tripping call even made, it's going to have to be something that impedes the scoring chance. You're just not going to see it. So if you're complaining about the refs at this point, yeah, you're way behind. It's in a commercial. I'm in a commercial right now. You're way behind, Jay. I'll give you the time to sync up with me in a second. Shilovs is stealing this game. No kidding. The Hatcher brothers alone probably had triple-digit concussions when they doled out. Absolutely. Those guys were... I used to pick them up in like NHL 2000. Remember they used to have the icons. You even had you had the sniper icon, which was like a bullseye, or like a hammer, which was like crushing bodies. Those guys were monsters. Shilovs just... I have to ask the question, would Demko or Casey DeSmith have had this good of a game? And it's not because they're not great goalies, but like sometimes magic in the playoffs, right? Just sometimes there's magic and there's no explanation. It's just, here's a guy, he's dialed. That's what it is. Do you think Hyman gets 50 without McDavid? Probably not. But he would probably be, assuming he's on a high-scoring team, he's still minimum 35, the way he plays. So you guys think Demko would have a game like this? I know Demko is magic, but like, you know what I'm talking about in the playoffs? Like, think about the Vegas Golden Knights in 2017. They caught lightning in a bottle. First-year team, bunch of cast-offs. They all come together, and they make the Stanley Cup final. Lightning in a bottle. Here we go. Oh, Carlson. Oh, there was a hook there by Nugent Hopkins. No call. Unless there is a call. Is there a call? Yeah, so Nils Oman got hooked down there. They're not calling that. Adam, you're a clown. Okay. Well, you're a big baby. Have a good night. All right, here we go. 9:16 left in the third. There we go. I know Demko's a great goalie. I'm not taking away. I'm just saying what you have here with Shilovs is something that this is going to be one of those where you talk about this for years if this guy keeps playing like this. This guy that comes out of nowhere. Oh, Ian Cole just took a penalty. Oh, no. Man, he has had... I'm surprised. I have to be honest. I'm surprised he's playing. Like, I thought Noah Juleson would be in tonight. I don't know why he's not. Just checking the injury report here. Yeah. Ian Cole's had a rough series, guys. He has. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, that's rough. Ian Cole can't be taking that penalty. You make it obvious, they're gonna do that. Now the refs, again, they're a bit tight tonight, I'd say. Draisaitl from basically where he scored. What's going on with the Oh, Shelovs keeps it out. And there's a big scrum in front of the net. Was that Teddy Bluger that was just lying down next to Shelovs? It was weird. You had 3 Canucks up on their skates and one in front of the net with his skates. No, it was Myers. What's Myers doing? Just don't let anything come across the crease, I guess. There, and you know what? The Oilers are really good at that. You see, they have Hyman in front of the net and Nuge is going for the open side. They always do that, and it's really sneaky and it works really well. Shots are 40-17 in Edmonton's favor. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Edmonton has 14 or 15 shots this period alone. Vancouver, I believe, has 3. Good face-off wins. Zadorov fires the puck out. Vancouver can get a change. 1:22 left on the power play. Here's a clock timeline for you. 8:03, 8:02, 8:01, 8, 7:59, 7:58, 7:57. Just so we can align here. Shelov's out of the net, firing the puck up. Oh, and a good little play there by Nils Oman to get that puck out of there. There's a guy that has not seen playoff action who's just rolling in, and he's killing penalties against the freaking Edmonton Oilers. Damn. Nugent Hopkins needs to lose that stash. Cringe. I like it. Is a mustache supposed to be cool, or is it supposed to be a little cringe? It's supposed to be a little cringe. McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, they just said on the broadcast, have 6 shots this period alone. 53 seconds left in the power play. 7:35 left in the game. This is going to be, if the Vancouver Canucks can get out of this, it's going to be an exciting finish. Big block by Lindholm there on Bouchard. That probably hurt. Susie clears. I'm sick of the McDavid haters using him not having a cup to discredit every single argument. Don't listen to people. Like, listen, McDavid needs a cup. But doesn't mean he's not the best player in the world right now. 4 seconds left. Can they get out of this? They get out of it. Somehow, some way, the Oilers not only had a power play, but got 0 shots on it. Not a single shot. They had scoring chances, but not a single shot actually made it through. Gotta wonder if Edmonton's first line is getting too tired to play. I hope not, but it's possible. I think Draisaitl's hurt, guys, and I think that's why they're pairing up with McDavid, so McDavid can do a lot of the driving, and Draisaitl can do Draisaitl can do a lot more of what he did earlier, which was just an unbelievable goal. Went right through the goalie. But that was the last time they scored. Shelovs has shut the door since then. Shots are 39-18 now. Another save by Shelovs. That's his 40th of the night. Sorry, his 38th. He allowed 2 goals. My apologies. And give the Canucks credit on that last PK. That was a big deal to shut that down. Corey Perry, who has been distinctly unworm-like this series, that's a guy I would have expected to be much more of a factor. He did almost have a goal earlier, but I would have expected him to get under the Canucks' skin, and he hasn't. You need that. Like the point of employing Corey Perry is to get the other team distracted. I haven't seen that. Vogel, okay. Canucks clear. Canucks playing a little bit like they're on the PK. 4:56 left in the third period, guys. We're going to see if Edmonton going to get a goal in the next couple minutes here and get back into this game and make it real exciting at the end. Do we get overtime? Is it too early to ask when it's 4-2? Yes. Hyman bodied out by Myers. Then you got the puck into center ice. Bluger line out there. Nice little bump by Brock Besser back into the Vancouver zone. Myers, Susie. Susie gets the puck. A little bit of a backhand. It's batted down. Now we got a 3-on-1. Besser, Oman, Bluger. Just as you expect. Oh, my God. Oman almost set up Besser there for his hat trick. Oh, man, that would have been cool. Come into the league for your first playoff game and set you the best player up in the game with a hat trick. Good for him. Almost got it. FanDuel is saying no overtime right now. Well, I guess FanDuel would bet on that. Oil looking too timid. Bane, I don't know, man. They have 40 shots to 18. I just don't think that people give the Canucks enough credit for their defense. Oilers need to send Julian to go cross-check some guys. McDavid has already surpassed Crosby in basically every category other than cups. Yeah, but here's the thing. Cups are a category, and they do matter, and Crosby has 3 of them. And he's got 4 finals appearances. It is going to matter. Like, McDavid can't control all of it, and he can't control how the team was built when Chiarelli was there, and it was make no mistake, it was a disaster bringing Chiarelli into Edmonton. It really was. Ken Holland's done a better job, but there have been some mishaps. Then you had COVID as well. The Oil have got to make a decision here. Like, if they want to win a cup, they probably got to do it this year or next. Because you just don't know what Draisaitl's going to do with his contract being up. And then McDavid's up the year after. I would expect Draisaitl to stay and play with McDavid, but what if he doesn't? That can always happen, right? Oh, my mic is not holding up here. Yeah, McDavid deserves a goalie that's not a sieve. I agree. The Jack Campbell thing, I love Jack Campbell as a human being. It's a shame it didn't work out, or it hasn't worked out. I really, really like Jack Campbell. He was wonderful here in Toronto. I know he's a great guy, great teammate, nothing but good things to say about that person. And he's a guy you root for. Didn't McDavid say cup or bust this year? Probably, as he should. He shouldn't be thinking about anything else. Connor McDavid is he's the perfect Oiler. So is Draisaitl. Those guys are warriors. They're not just finesse. They're tough. They play through injury. They want it, and they want it bad. Edmonton couldn't have got 2 better guys working for them. .329 left. Oilers have an empty net. And we got 2 players on hat-trick watch for the Vancouver Canucks. That would be Lindholm and Besser. We thought Besser had a natural hat-trick in the first period. However, Lindholm tipped home the first goal that Vancouver scored. So both of them looking for a hat-trick here. We'll see if either of them get it. Splash says, I don't know what the Oilers are doing wrong. I don't think that they are. I think that I think Shelovs is having a magic night. I think he's having a great night. I think the Canucks, if they win this game, you should pay you shouldn't just pay for a dinner tonight. You owe him like a vacation. You owe him a trip to Mexico. You have the money. We got an empty net. 3:11 left in the third. 1,300 people in the chat, by the way. Welcome. Thank you so much for hanging out. Here we go. Besser, Suter, they're all out there. Interesting to see Suter out there. Usually when it gets late, the Canucks don't put him out there. So Suter, Miller, Besser. Puck is in the Canucks zone and deflected wide. 2:39 left in the third period, and I promise this time I will do a clap so we can align streams for the last 2 minutes. Chat is louder than Edmonton's crowd. Yo, Drew, true. And honestly, the reason for that is the fans were taken out of it. After that first goal, Vancouver just went on a tear in the first period and sucked the wind out of the building. Here we go. 2:39. We'll see if the ref or the linesman actually drops the puck. Do we have a timeout? Oh, we get a timeout. Okay, no clapping. And Hank Barber, over 500 likes. Yes, thank you, guys. You've been very generous with your likes. We're almost at 600 likes. Is Pettersson on the second line? Yes, I believe he is. Yeah, he's got Carlson and Mikheyev next to him. This is not a fluke. This is who Shelovs is. He was the MVP at the World Championships playing like this. Well, he wasn't playing like this in the A this year. Sometimes maybe he did, but if this is what the Canucks really have, if this guy is for real, then you got, a couple more years of Thatcher Demko, whatever his contract is. And, maybe Casey DeSmith isn't the guy that you hang on to. But, man, I'd be excited for my goaltending future in Vancouver if this Shelovs guy is for real. And the thing with goaltending is it's always, what have you done for me lately? So these playoffs, he's done it all, and he deserves a shot at the spot on the team next year, but they're going to make him earn it. Besser clears. 2:29 left in the third. .220. Zadorov up to... No, not out. Lindholm. Zadorov covering. McDavid rolling around the net. Draisaitl barely moving. I think he's hurt. Myers got the puck. Oh! Give away to McDavid, but Besser. Miller shoots. Oh, and it goes off the post. Or was that Besser? That was a crazy shot. How did that go off? How did that go off the post? Another shot. 140 left in the third period. I'm going to keep counting it down. 136, 135, 134, 133, 132, 131, 130. We got 90 seconds left in this hockey game. Unless Edmonton can make it a miracle and score twice. Entirely possible for Oilers Nation. Entirely possible. Here we go. Suter. Oh, they score! Guys, the Edmonton Oilers, that's Zach Hyman taking care of business. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like it went off of Ian Cole. Where have you heard that before? Ian Cole's not having a great series. It is 4-3 Oilers. They finally solved Shelovs. Miller almost ended the game, and it just goes off the post. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to see what happened here. Oh, it goes off of Ian Cole's hand. Oh, my God. It's just bad luck. It's not even his fault. Oh, that sucks. Bouchard with the goal there. Good for Bouchard. That's got to feel good. We're going to have an exciting 70 seconds to end this game. I'm pumped. Here we go. Let's go. This is playoffs. Oh. They drop the effing puck and then they blow it dead. Like, what is it, guys? This is what the NHL needs to do. Like, guys, why are we doing this? Unless Knobloch called a timeout. Is Stuart Skinner going back in? What? Why is this a smart play? Oh, so they're switching out the goalie to get themselves some time without a timeout. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. What do you have to lose? He's going to come off anyway. 43-18, Edmonton is out shooting Vancouver. That's a smart move by Knobloch. I know Canucks fans are going to hate that, but I actually really like that. Yeah, I'm surprised Ian Cole's playing, Canucks fans. I thought Noah Juleson would be in for sure. Here we go. Joshua line out there with Lindholm and Garland, and they've been really, really good tonight. Especially Connor Garland has had another good game. 1:10 left. We get 70 seconds in this game. There goes Stuart Skinner racing to the bench. McDavid is on the ice. The big boys for the Oilers are on. Tyler Myers, Carson Soucy, Lindholm, Joshua, Garland for the Vancouver Canucks. "45 seconds to go. Shilov's magic. Will it be enough to get through the next 45 seconds and get the Canucks the victory they're looking for? Or are the Edmonton Oilers in the next 35 seconds going to tie this game up? They haven't got the offensive pressure they want. Draisaitl deep. Looking a little slow, looking a little creaky. There goes Myers in the corner. 23 seconds, 22 seconds. Vancouver clears. Myers off. Looks like Zadorov is on. 15 seconds to go. Canucks clogging the neutral zone, doing a really good job of it. This third line, which has looked dangerous offensively, 8 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go. They're going to shoot. They're asking them to shoot. Shilov, and they miss. Oh, and the game is over. And Shilov robs them at the end. It looks like we're going to have some fights after this. Every game in this series has ended with a 1-goal difference. 5-4, game 1. Overtime win, game 2. I can't remember the score. It was Friday, and I was exhausted. 4-3 today. Artur Shvilovs with 41 saves. He's exhausted. He's 20-something and can barely grow a beard. And oh my God, Vancouver, you might have something great on your hands. Vancouver are up 2-1 in this series. Canucks fans thrilled. Oilers fans, I think, probably surprised. Nobody was giving the Canucks a chance in this series. My goodness. The police will be waiting out front for Shilovs because that's robbery. And even after the play is dead, Shilov still has a great glove save. McDavid starts a little fight afterwards. Gotta love that. Damn. Well done, Canucks. Oilers, good little comeback. Oh, wow. Soucy just crushed McDavid in the face. Wow. Damn. Wow. That was, it's good to see. Look at Shilovs. He's like, damn, I can't believe it either. Good for him. That is what a story this is. And you know what? Good for the Canucks who no one was taking them seriously going into this series. Everybody thought, oh, well, they went to, man, Nashville was a better team than people are giving them credit for, at least on defense. They can't score worth a damn, but wow. Vancouver, big win tonight. Taking home ice advantage away from the Oilers. This is going to be a fun series. I think we're going 7 on this one, guys. I think we're going 7 on this series. I'm real excited. So here's the deal. It's 12:30 a.m. where I am. I'm going to roll. I'm exhausted. So I'm going to go. And I want to say to you that our next game is Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, 7:30 Mountain. I want to see you here. This is going to get real exciting. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It was lots of fun. Thank you to Justin Fisher. Thank you to Robert. Thank you to Hayden for all being a part of this. And thank you for being a part of it in the chat. You guys were awesome. Loved it tonight. Loved it tonight. Not going to lie, I'm absolutely pooped. So we'll see you later. Have a great night, and we will see you Tuesday. All right? Later.